Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a very special presentation on the ISC Sports Network. We are here at Forrest G. Waters Field at what is now St. Elizabeth Ballpark at South Ripley High School in Versailles, Indiana. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Rob Moorhead is a name and a face you have seen and heard on the ISC Sports Network before, but his day job is as the superintendent of South Ripley Community Schools. And he has been nice enough to ask us to come and showcase this event for him today. What you are seeing is the grand opening of this brand new field that was, well, frankly, made possible by the folks at the Cincinnati Reds, the Reds Community Fund, as well as St. Elizabeth Health Care. And this field has been here since the opening days of South Ripley High School back in the late 60s. And there is going to be a pregame ceremony, hence all the dignitaries and the folks seated in the infield that you will see. And then following that, we're playing a baseball game at 5 o'clock and a softball game at 7:30. And yes, part of this great facility is the fact that you can do both. And they will transition from baseball to softball in between. And with that, looks like our program is about to get started.
We are so excited to be with you here today at Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark here at the home of the South Ripley Raiders. We've got so much to celebrate before today's doubleheader. My name's Charlie Frank. I'm the executive director of the Cincinnati Reds Community Fund. And I can tell you, of all the field renovation projects that we've been fortunate enough to be part of over the years, they don't get a whole lot better than this one, working in this community here in Versailles. So grateful to the leadership in this community and excited before our ceremony officially begins to introduce some of them here. So I hope you'll bear with me because we have a lot of very important folks sitting out in the field in these white chairs that have helped make today's festivities possible and help get this field ready to go by the start of this season so that all the seniors could play their entire years out on this beautifully renovated ball field. First of all, from the Cincinnati Reds Community Fund, I want to thank some of my cohorts, Kenny Pope, Sarah Scarf. Big thank you to our team for all their great work. From the Cincinnati Reds, you're going to hear from our president and CEO, Phil Castellini, but also want to welcome our COO, Doug Healy, our Vice President of Human Relations, Aaron Legeman, also Michael Anderson, our outstanding PR Director, and also to our great team that includes Lydia, Nadia, Jim, Nick, Caitlin, and Brendan, and of course, let's hear it for Rosie Red and for Gapper coming out here today. From St. Elizabeth Healthcare, and they are one of the project lead partners as the wind picks up from center field. Not a lot of home runs today, guys and girls. Might be blowing in. Their president and CEO, who you'll hear from in a little bit, a great partner, Garen Colvin, is with us, along with our great community partner, Carrie Graham, Scott Helton, and a team of volunteers that were here from noon today, putting some final touches on the field. Big round of applause for our friends at St. Elizabeth. Really, the anchor of this project, as it should be, is the South Ripley Community School Corporation. And boy, has it been a pleasure working with Superintendent Rob Moorhead. I'm going to miss Rob, so we're going to have to stay in touch. You're going to hear plenty of Rob here as today gets going. Also, from the business office, a huge thank you to Lana Miller and Tasha Smith, Andy Kummer, the board president, Amy Miller, the board vice president, from also Kim Jolly, board secretary, board members, Brittany Bradley, Rachel Lawhorn, Justin Sturgeon, and Thomas Welsh. A big round of applause for the South Ripley Community Schools. Speaking of the schools, their principal, who we'll be hearing from as well, and boy, does he have deep ties to this ball field in this community. It's been great working with Principal Derek Hutton, the junior high principal as well, Melanie Evans, Buildings and Ground Director Jeff Cornett, and the athletic director who you'll be hearing from, Jeff Gorel. Big round of applause to everyone here at South Ripley High. You'll be hearing a little bit more about how these projects come together, but in short, the Reds Community Fund, St. Elizabeth, we're making a seed grant to a community, and it's really up to the community to take the ball and run with it. in this community did just a marvelous job with that. And it takes other major players. And in this case, one of the most important is the Tyson Fund here in Versailles. And their trustees include Bob Meyer, Jeff Cornett, Jeff Logman, Susan Underwood, Carla Stegner, Dr. Jim Dent, Sue Huntington, and Bill Bradford. A huge tip of the hat to the folks here today from the Tyson Fund, and we'll hear from Coach Meyer in a little bit as well. Other partners, Ivy Tech Community College, the Chancellor Mark Graver, also Lisa Moorhead, Sammy Hardebeck, Loretta Day, and Julie Murphy. A big round of applause to Ivy Tech Community College. Another great Reds partner and a partner for this project for many years, and of course they are leaders in our region and our community. That's the Duke Energy Foundation, and one of their leaders, Tom DeBon, is with us today. Welcome, Tom. Other partners from the Ripley County Community Foundation, a big welcome to Amy Streeter, Jim Black, and Steve Mathis. Welcome, folks. From the Rising Sun Regional Foundation, welcome to Cheryl Obendorf and Jeff French. From Baird Wealth, a big welcome and thanks to Kyle Lantner. From the Ripley County Chamber of Commerce, a welcome to Brandy Merkel and Carrie McNew. And from Rolling Pin Catering, Scott Meisberger. A handful of other partners to recognize before we officially get our program underway. The South Ripley 1981 baseball sectional champions are represented today by Stan Lay, David Swingle, Bob Stratton, Bob Kiefer, and Mike Meisberger. Let's hear it for the 81 sectional champs. Also a welcome to REMC Operation Roundup, Holland Insurance, Napoleon State Bank, Schutte Excavation, Gilpin Monuments, and our partner for this beautiful field, Spin Turf. A big round of applause for all of our partners, all of our donors, all of our contributors that help make today possible. Well, we've been doing this, and when I say we in this case, I'm talking about St. Elizabeth Healthcare. In 2019, the Reds were celebrating 150 years of Reds baseball. And I remember asking Phil Castellini, hey, we'd like to do a big field project to celebrate Reds being around for 150 years. And Phil said, I like the idea, but you're going to do two projects. We're going to do one on both sides of the river. And when that became clear, we needed more partners to help make that happen. And the first call we made was to St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Due to their incredible footprint in northern Kentucky and southeast Indiana, they've helped us not only since that time, but really before then, finding the right communities, the right partners, the right teams, and we've been working together to make our games more accessible in these communities. These projects are really a testament to the partnership and support of our great game, and it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker today. He is the president and CEO of St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Please welcome Garen Colvin.
Thank you, Charlie. This is our fourth field that we've been blessed to partner with the Community Fund and the Cincinnati Reds. Our partnership goes well beyond just building a few fields, and it's great to be a part of this community. We love southeastern Indiana. I'd like to thank Scott Helton. As Charlie mentioned, Scott Helton runs our sports medicine division, and he does a great job. And then Kerry is the man on the ground for this entire project, so couldn't do anything without him. In addition to the Cincinnati Reds, want to thank Duke Energy. This is our third build in partnership with Duke and the Cincinnati Reds, and so we're excited that we're able to do this. Last and not least, I want to thank 22 of our associates who came out and spent the day putting this field, last touches on this field, and it's just a testament to their willingness to want to be a part of this community. So on behalf of St. Elizabeth, thank you, and congratulations. This is, I have to tell you, the second ball field we built was in my high school, at my high school field. This one actually outdoes that one, so, but don't tell anybody, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Garen. Thank you for your partnership. Garen was one of those volunteers that was out there today hanging that windscreen. A little windy today, so it requires some extra hands. So I want to thank the junior high teachers that looked out the window and saw that we needed help and came down as well. So we're appreciative of that. And really, you know, every project has a leader that brings it all together. And we realized right away that there were quite a few people in this community that were willing to do the hard work. And the one that just stands out and has been such a pleasure to work with is the superintendent of the school district. So please join me in welcoming our next speaker, Mr. Rob Moorhead.
Thank you so much, Charlie. I'm going to start with this, and I'll probably end with it too, but what a great day to be a Raider. Am I right? I want to say thank you as I look out to so many of our supporters here at Raider Nation for being here today. This project is all about community, and we wouldn't be here without you and without your support, not only with this project, but of our schools and our students and our athletes at all times. So thank you so much to each and every person who has had a part in making this dream come true for us here at South Ripley. On behalf of South Ripley Community Schools, I want to express my extreme gratitude to the Cincinnati Reds and St. Elizabeth Healthcare for choosing us for your next field project. This is a transformational project that will impact this community far into the future. It's not our first partnership with the Reds and St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Baseball and softball equipment donations from those organizations have been going on for years, and South Ripley baseball and softball have been beneficiaries of those donations, and we thank you very much. And we are so proud to co-brand with you and have your logos on our baseball field. And that's one of the things that pleases me more than anything in this project, to look out and see the Cincinnati Reds logo on the South Ripley baseball field. There aren't any other teams in Southeast Indiana that can say that, and that's one of the just one of the many reasons why we are very special here. I want to say thank you and a big welcome to Mr. Castellini. Phil, thank you for being here and taking time out of your busy schedule to come to Versailles in South Ripley. You are in Reds country. We love our Reds. I grew up on the Big Red Machine and those World Series teams. For us to be fans of an organization that does so much in the community and gives back to the community all the way out here in Southeast Indiana just makes it that much more special. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask him to stand up. I want Phil to stand up, and I want you to show your appreciation to Phil Castellini and the Cincinnati Reds for everything they're doing for us here in our community. Two more quick things for Mr. Castellini. One is thank you for letting Rosie Red and Gapper come today. Absolutely. We appreciate you, yes. And also, Phil, this partnership started back in May of last year when I first got the call. Since that time, the Reds have made the playoffs, and they're in first place in the division right now. So I think it's a win-win, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think this partnership is a good thing. To Garen Colvin and St. Elizabeth Healthcare, thank you for being right here for us. From athletic training services to 5-star services at the St. Elizabeth Dearborn location. Garen would have been disappointed if I didn't brag on that. I always mention that. To world-class cancer care available right here in Southeast Indiana. Southeast Indiana is better. Our communities are better because of St. Elizabeth. We truly appreciate your partnership, grateful for your support, and Garen, your work ethic out there on the windscreen today was magnificent. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all you've done for this project. To Charlie Frank from the Reds Community Fund, what a fantastic guy. Kenny Pope from the Reds Youth Academy, and Carrie Graham from St. Elizabeth. We've had so many meetings with them and had so much fun. And Charlie, I'll say it right back to you. I'm going to miss you, my friend. We got to go visit the Reds Youth Academy. We got to travel and see some of their other fields and have just had a fantastic time. Thank you for your guidance, your support, and your assistance throughout the project. To our South Ripley School Board members who are here today, I want to thank you as well. Your unwavering support in this project has been fantastic. I know you looked at me like I had two heads when I first told you about this. You're like, Rob, there's no way we're going to have a turf baseball field at South Ripley. But thanks to the generosity of our sponsors, our supporters, and our communities, we were able to do just that. Before we move any further, one of the things we do in these kind of ceremonies is we typically open with an invocation. At this time, I want to call Board President Andy Cumber to the microphone to give this afternoon's invocation. Andy?
Will you guys bow your heads and pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for this day and for providing us with a great community, friends to support our school. We ask that you bless this field, the players that play on it, the coaches, and the staff. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much, Andy. We couldn't have accomplished this without high school principal Derek Hutton, athletic director Jeff Gorel, Buildings and Grounds Director Jeff Cornett, and his maintenance staff, along with business manager Lana Miller and Tasha Smith in our office, who helped us figure out the details. I truly appreciate each and every person involved with South Ripley that's allowed this to happen. To the Tyson Fund trustees, you look along that first baseline, and for the life of this field, the name James H. Tyson will be on that first baseline. When we knew we needed community partners, we looked no further than the Tyson Fund, and boy, did they deliver. And they have shown up for us so many times over the years in various projects. And as soon as they heard about this project, they said, give us a couple of days, let us figure out, but we're going to make it happen. And they came in with unbelievable support. And quite simply, we're not here without you, Coach Meyer, Tyson Fund trustees. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's have a big round of applause for our Tyson Fund. Now, I will tell you, this isn't the first time Coach Meyer and I have shared the baseball field together. Some of these guys heard this story the other day. This is an all too true story. I played baseball here at South Ripley back in the day. And as a baseball player, I was a pretty good basketball player. Baseball was not my sport. Couldn't hit to save my life. I could field at first base and play a little first base, but I couldn't hit. Midway through my senior year, I had not had a hit yet. I finally, in the scorebook, it goes down as a line drive single. I think it was more one of those ground balls with eyes that somehow made it into the outfield. I get to first base, and I am ecstatic. Coach Meyer's coaching first, and I'm like, Coach is going to be so happy for me. He's going to give me a high five. He's going to pat me on the back. I get down there, and I turn to Coach, and I'm all excited, ready for that, and he looks at me, puts his arm around me, and goes, Rob, second base is over there. That's the kind of wisdom I've gotten from Coach Meyer throughout my career. To the Duke Energy Foundation, thank you for your partnership. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for believing in our project and making it happen. To Ivy Tech Community College, Chancellor Graver, thank you for accepting my breakfast invitation. It's unbelievable what an order of biscuits and gravy will do to get Mark Graver to say yes. Their partnership in educating our students is deeply valued. They have helped save our families thousands of dollars in college expenses and tuition over the years. Your continued support and your generous donation to this project are truly something we value. We're proud to have your logo displayed on our field as well. And I should also say thank you to Vice Chancellor Lisa Moorhead, who is back here as well. She's my beautiful wife, and I appreciate her for being here today as well. To the Ripley County Community Foundation and Rising Sun Regional Foundation, thank you for inviting us in to make presentations to your boards. Thank you for stepping up, as you have for us so many times, to help make this dream a reality. And finally, I want to say a few words about the gentleman whose name continues to adorn this field, and that's Forrest G. Waters. I was fortunate enough to know Forrest G. Waters. He was the first principal in South Ripley High School's history after the consolidation. He was also the superintendent then a couple of years later. I was out here the day my dad, the principal at the time, Gus Moorhead, unveiled the sign in right field naming this Forrest G. Waters Field. That was truly a special day. And when it came time for this project, and we knew there were going to be some naming options on this field, one thing that was a non-negotiable was Forrest G. Waters' name will remain on this field. Because as proud as we are of what's going on today and moving into the future, we also want to honor our past. And Forrest G. Waters was a man who greatly appreciated athletics. He had an affinity for the education that students receive through participating in education-based athletics. He was proud when our field was named after him in the original setting back in the 1980s. I guarantee you he is beaming looking down today at the new Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. Finally, to our baseball and softball players, congratulations on being the first of many athletes to get to play on this field. I know you are, but I want to remind you to be grateful for what your community and each and every person out here and in the stands today has done to make this facility a reality for you. Take pride in it, take care of it, and continue to always represent South Ripley in a first-class manner. Good luck, keep competing, and remember, as I said earlier, it's always a great day to be a Raider, and you guys remind us of that every single day. Let's have a hand for our ball players. I want to invite Principal Hutton to come up. Derek, if you will join me here. Derek has been a tireless worker on this project. He was my first call after I got the call from Kerry Graham last May saying, Rob, we selected South Ripley for this field renovation. I picked up the phone and called Derek because I knew he would be equally as excited as I have been. At every turn, Derek has stepped up to carry the ball and do the work. And I really, really appreciate his partnership and his effort in this. And Hut, I'm going to brag on you for a minute, but you got to come over here to the mic for a second. Remind me, how many home runs did you hit in this facility?
20.
20.
Yep.
Derek is our home run leader with 20. Going back to my playing days, yes, give Derek a round of applause. And I'm proud to tell you that when you put my statistics and Derek's together, we have a combined 20 home runs. So please give a big round of applause to our high school principal, Mr. Derek Hutton. Thank you, man. You've been great in this project. I appreciate that.
I had a feeling he was going to bring that up. So good afternoon, everyone. It's so great to see everyone out here today at South Ripley. This newly renovated turf field is more than just a place to play. It's a game changer for our baseball and softball athletes. It's where extra reps turn into confidence, where practice turns into performance, and where our players can truly sharpen their skills every single day. For our baseball and softball teams, this field means consistency. No more lost practices because of weather. No more uneven surfaces or unsafe conditions. Instead, our athletes get more time on the field, more ground balls, more swings, more innings on a surface designed to help them perform at their very best. That kind of access and reliability directly impacts development, confidence, and ultimately success in competition. It raises the standard of what we expect from ourselves and what others see when they come here to compete. Most importantly, this field sends a message to our players. You matter. Your hard work matters. Your commitment matters. Because of the generosity of our donors and community partners, our athletes now have a facility that matches their dedication, a place where they can dream bigger, work harder, and see those dreams come to life. This dream truly took a team effort. We want to recognize our incredible business and community sponsors, Bayard Wealth, Rolling Pin Catering, the 1981 South Ripley Baseball Sectional Champions. Let's give that group a big round of applause. RAMC, Operation Roundup, Holland Insurance, and Napoleon State Bank. Also, our construction partners, Sprint Turf, Schutte Excavating, Gilpin Monuments, and the Green Sign Company. Let's give them a round of applause. Also, our individual partners who rolled up their sleeves and made this project happen. Justin Sturgeon, Tyler Stone, Keith Schmaltz, Scott Hobbs, Damon Spear, Barry Lauber, Brian Gilpin, and Roger Klein for their work pouring concrete, installing foul poles, fence posts, and laying our sod. Also, Grover Miller, Brian Miller, and Barry Lauber for their work on the junior high softball field, and Ron Miller for their help bush hogging. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. I also want to recognize the people that have made our brick garden happen. If you have a chance before you leave to look outside the main bleachers there, you'll see a beautiful monument that's put together by donors in our community. Brittany Miller, she's here anywhere. Can you stand up? I know she was there. She is over there. Let's give Brittany a round of applause. Brittany volunteered a lot of her time on Friday nights and Saturday nights at basketball games to meet with community members who wanted to sponsor the brick project. And we were able to raise over $17,000 selling bricks, which is amazing. And we are still selling them. Yes, Mr. Moorhead makes a point. They are still for sale, so come see us. We also want to thank Brian Gilpin for the engraving of the bricks, and also to Nick Dimmery and Dimmery Trucking for the donation of the lime. Because of all of you, our players now step onto a field that reflects their effort, their pride, and also their future. On behalf of South Ripley, thank you for believing in our athletes and investing in their success. At this time, I'd like to invite someone to the podium who really needs no introduction, but this guy has played a key role in making this renovation possible. A former teacher, coach, and administrator here at South Ripley, and now the president of the Board of Trustees for the Tyson Fund, Mr. Bob Meyer.
Boy, what a great day to be a Raider. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up today. What a great day weather-wise, and what a great opportunity for our athletes and our students here in the community as well. I am president of the Versailles Tyson Fund, and before I go on, I would like those trustees who are here today, and almost all of them are, I'd like for them to please stand and get a round of applause. The Tyson Fund has, let me give you a little history of the Tyson Fund. The Tyson Fund was started back in 1930 by James Henry Tyson. Mr. Tyson was a lifelong resident of Versailles, and he wanted to give back to his community in some way. So he set up a trust fund. That trust fund was started with $75,000 worth of shares of Walgreens stock that he had acquired by being friends with Mr. Walgreen, the drugstore gentleman. Mr. Tyson had loaned him some money to build his second store, and in return, he paid Mr. Tyson in stock. That stock today, we don't have much of it left because we've diversified, but today the Tyson Fund is worth $24 million. We are quite proud of that, and we are proud of the fact that every year, once a year, on Mr. Tyson's birthday, we can distribute to different organizations, different nonprofit organizations in Versailles, in the Versailles area, and help them out in some way. Mr. Tyson was big on our church, he was big on the library, he was big on the schools, and the town. Those were his four main things that he wanted to take care of. And we as stewards of the Tyson Fund try to do that every year as best we can. As trustees, our responsibilities are far-reaching. We've been blessed with his generosity and we try to give back to our community as best we can each year. When Mr. Hutton came to us last summer and came to a meeting and spoke to us about the project, I knew we could do something, but I wasn't sure. He asked for $100,000, and that's not peanuts, to say the least. If we would gave all of that at one time, my thinking was we'd have to turn down a number of other people. But through some creative thinking, on behalf of the trustees, I went up and talked to Mr. Moorhead, talked to Mr. Hutton. We were able to make that $100,000 pledge. It's very important to this community that we have community members that love our school. Personally, I've been around South Ripley now for about 48 years. I worked here for 34 years. I did work 1 year at Jacksonville, so please don't boo that. But South Ripley means the world to my wife and I. And we will do what we can, as long as we can, to help South Ripley out. And with the help of these trustees back here, and I can tell you, every one of these trustees feels the exact same way. We want to do what's best for our community. Rob told a little story about when he got on first base, but I'd like to mention the 81 team, if I could, for just a second. Not only did they win the sectional, but many of them were on the basketball team that won the regional. And those guys decided a few months ago, led by Stan Lay, that they wanted to do something for the baseball field. And I want to congratulate those guys on doing something to take care of their alma mater. Congratulations, fellas. Finally, just let me say this about today. It is a great day to be a Raider. It's always a great day for me to be around Rob Moorhead. He's one of my favorites, and I know I've got others sitting back here, guys. Don't throw something at me. But Rob is, he's one of those guys that I learned a long time ago. If you give him an idea, he will try and make it happen. And I am very, very pleased that he is our superintendent. When I found out he was going to be our superintendent back years ago, I was actually on a cruise, went outside of the cruise ship so I could make a phone call to Rob to congratulate him on becoming superintendent. So Rob, just so you know, and I think you already know, you mean the world to Coach Meyer. Finally, there's just two other things that I need to say before Mr. Castellini comes up here. One is the Reds are playing really good, even though today they slipped just a little bit. But it's a good day to be a Raider, and it's an even better day to be a Reds fan and a Raider. Thank you.
Coach Meyer, thank you so much. Before we get to Phil, there's one other person that I'd like to single out and to thank. She is one of the 4 chief officers of the Reds that's here today. She is the Chief Communications and Community Officer. She has been really the heartbeat of this organization in so many ways for close to 20 years, and it's a pleasure to work with her on projects like this one. A big welcome to Karen Forgas-Bowman. Thank you for being here. Well, with that in mind, I think Bob just mentioned Reds had a 5-1 road trip here that just ended today. Coming home for the Hall of Fame weekend, taking on Detroit. We got all kinds of exciting stuff going on with Brandon Phillips and Aaron Harang and Lou Piniella and Reggie Sanders this weekend. So we hope you can get down to the ballpark Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But that 5-1 mark is similar to the Raiders baseball squad. Started this season 5-1. Let's hear it for both the Raiders and the Lady Raiders. And now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Cincinnati Reds, Phil Castellini.
Let's hear it for Charlie, Frank, everybody, and all of our Reds Community Fund staff. I tell you what, this has just been amazing. It's an amazing day. And when I look out here, I look at this field and I look at all these people, it's really a testament to what we can accomplish when we work together and collaborate and dream big and think big and then make big things happen. When we got here in 2006, the Community Fund was already engaged, and all we did was try to amplify what they were doing. And in those first couple of years, we probably touched up, I don't know, 250 fields or something in the traditional way, really just with our fund resources. But we really figured out that if we can get fields like this to be synthetic, because one of the biggest problems is, as mentioned earlier, the safety of the fields, the playability, rainouts. It's one thing to get the kids to play the game. It's another thing for teams to be ready and fields not to be ready to play on. And so we dreamed a long time ago about synthetic fields, and literally if we could put one in every place we've ever renovated a field, we would. But these are big, expensive projects, and they take a lot of partners. And you have heard how many partners it took to get this one done. And so since 2000, what did you tell me, Charlie? 30 fields since 2009. And believe me, we continue to look for more projects like this, but it's important that we find the right communities, because as Charlie mentioned, we're only a catalyst for this work, a relatively small fraction of what it takes to get an entire project done. And when I hear the list of volunteers and in kind and the volunteers that were here from St. E's and the work that St. E's does to work with us and the foundation that gave, that's what it takes to make this happen. And let me give you a little hint. Beyond the softball and baseball teams that are going to get to play more games on this with less rainouts, what we learned in towns like Bellevue and Ludlow and Augusta, Kentucky, is you will do so many more things on this field than just play games. They become community gathering places, and the impact goes far beyond our game, and that's part of the method to the madness. And when we can pull it together with partners like you in South Ripley, really magical things happen beyond the game. So I just couldn't be more filled with pride and excitement for what's happened here. And Garen, as I heard about, I had visions of our grounds crew on a windy day when one of our guys gets blown away by the tarp. I kind of had visions of you getting blown away in that outfield. And so I'm glad you guys got that done, and can't thank you enough for all your hard work. And, you know, I heard about Rob's work on the field, so I hope the basketball thing went well. But I want to know what bar you do stand-up at the weekends, because I need to come back to Ripley and hear a little bit of that act, because that was a lot of fun. But I think the importance of youth sports, especially team sports, that's what's magic about this game. It's generational. When I look out in this crowd and see multiple generations of fans getting ready to celebrate their team's play on this field, and we stand before you, and I'm glad Rob pointed out, it took us 20 years to get to South Indiana, a huge part of Reds country, and it was the missing piece to finally getting off to a great start for the first time in a long time. So glad we got that last puzzle piece figured out with this partnership with Southeast Indiana, big Reds country. I stand here before you proud of the work that you all have done, glad to be a part of it. We're proud of our Cincinnati Reds off to a great start. Let's keep that rolling. God bless America. God bless South Ripley. God bless St. E's and all of our partners. And most importantly, God bless our Cincinnati Reds. Let's play some ball.
Phil, thank you so much. I appreciate everyone hanging with us here through the ceremony. So many folks to recognize and thank, especially to the Lady Raiders and Raiders. Thank you. At this time, it is my pleasure to hand it off to Jeff Gorel, who is one of the hats that he wears is a PA announcer in the press box that has been upgraded on the PA system that has also been upgraded as part of this project. He is going to not only introduce the Lady Raiders and the Raiders from South Ripley High School, but also the Shiners from Rising Sun to introduce our visitors. So again, my pleasure to introduce the PA announcer here at Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark, Mr. Jeff Gorel.
All right, thanks, Charlie. Now let's meet our Raiders. We're going to start with our baseball team. Number 00, Austin Hodge. Number 10, Gabe Stewart. Number 20, Mason McNew. Number 30, Trevor Kastner. Number 5, Ethan Schmaltz. Number 11, Brogan Buchanan. Number 1, Camden Hodge. staff for our Raiders, the varsity coach is Mr. Brian Smith. Assistant coaches Grayson Miller and Adam Hunger. Let's give a good round of applause for our Raider baseball team. I'd like to add Troy Reilly to the coaching staff. My apologies. And now let's meet our Lady Raiders softball team. Number 1, Emma Height. Number 5, Ava Baskin. Number 6, Taylor Gordon. Number 17, Kelly Lowell. Number 10, Zoe Flowers. Number 14, Adeline Craper. Number 30, Ellie Combs. Number 2, Addison Siebel. Number 3, Ella Ali. Number 4, Peyton Linville. Number 15, Layla Collins. Number 16, Jada Hardig. Number 33, Marie Bellinger. Number 7, Lexi Bowling. Our Lady Raider coaching staff, head coach Ashley Swinney. Assistant coaches Seeley Hyatt and Brittany Miller. At this time, we'd also like to introduce the Rising Sun Shiner baseball team. Number 1, Clinton Crandall. Number 2, Lyndon Sickman. Number 4, Cooper Merritt. Number 5, Carson Wilson. Number 10, Home Cattell. Number 11, Oliver Fletcher. Number 12, Weston Cumberworth. Number 13, William Ravenscraft. Number 19, Dakota Hunter. Number 20, Caleb Powell. Number 22, Aiden White. Number 23, DJ Williams. Number 25, Landon Simpson. Number 30, Wesley Curry. Number 35, Jacob Cohen. Number 40, Brady Keppel. Number 54, CJ Berkeley. Number 72, Isaiah Thayer. And number 88, Jackson Elkins. The coaching staff. Head coach Kevin Wersch. Assistant coach Timmy White. Please give all the participants of tonight's game a big round of applause. Thank you guys. Now back down to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Jeff. With our lineups on the field now, it is my pleasure for our national anthem to introduce an alumnus of South Ripley High School from 1987. He is a former Raider baseball player and coach and standout athlete. Here to perform the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Scott Holdsworth.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet
get through before we are ready to play ball for our doubleheader tonight with Rising Sun and South Ripley. First of all, we are going to ask 4 individuals to throw first pitches. Actually, before that, we're going to cut the ribbon on this field. I'm going to ask Kenny Pope, our project manager from the Reds Community Fund, and Gary Graham from the outstanding community team from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. If we could get that ribbon, gentlemen, right across home plate, right in front of home plate. Carrie's going to hold one end, Kenny's going to hold the other, and we are inviting a handful of folks to come out and join us. From the Reds, we're going to ask Phil Castellini and Doug Healy to please join us. From St. E's, we're going to invite Garen Colvin. From South Ripley, we're going to ask Rob Moorhead, Derek Hutton, and Lana Miller. From the Tyson Fund, Coach Bob Meyer. From Duke Energy Foundation, Tom DeBon. And then also joining us for the ribbon cut are going to be Chancellor Graver from Ivy Tech Community College, as well as, I'm leaving out one person here, Rob. And Stan Lay, of course, from the 1981 sectional champs. Rosie Gapper, would you help on both ends too? Yeah, folks, we got one pair of real scissors. They're sharp, they're dangerous. You don't want to mess with Superintendent Moorhead.
No running with the scissors.
Thank you. No running with the scissors, Tom. Everyone else, if you could pretend like you're cutting the ribbon, that would be great. And we're going to count you down here in 3, 2, 1. We are now officially official again here at Forrest G. Waters Field. And we've got 4 first pitches as soon as we move our podium out of the way. The first pitches are going to be thrown by Superintendent Moorhead, by Coach Bob, by Garen and Phil. And we've got our catchers coming out from both the South Ripley Raiders and Lady Raiders to catch our 4 pitches if they can handle this very narrow channel between our chairs. You're going to go back to that circle. Let's introduce our catchers from the Lady Raiders.
Kelly Lower, my name is
Kelly, okay. And Kelly, who's your teammate here?
Ava Baston.
Ava, and from the Raiders baseball team?
Gabriel Stewart.
Mason McNibb.
Mason and Gabriel, welcome. If you guys could fan out, if we could get the ladies here in the right-handed batter's box. He does. He doesn't like this. We sure will, Rob. We're going to throw very carefully here in 3, 2, 1. 4 for 4. That's how we like it. If we could get a photo at home plate with our Reds and St. E's guests and our 4 catchers, if you'd stay, please.
Okay, with that, obviously our ceremony starting to wind down. Scheduled for a 5 o'clock first pitch. It's going to be a little bit delayed as well. Such things happen when you have grand ceremonies such as this. Don't go anywhere. You're going to see a shot you're seeing right there from center field when we are ready to start our baseball game sometime in the vicinity of 5 o'clock. You will not miss a single pitch, and the star of the show and Rob Moorhead will join us, and several great guests will also join us from broadcast position adjacent to the South Ripley dugout here on the first base line. So don't go anywhere. Baseball action comes your way in a matter of moments here on opening day, if you will, the Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark, as you are watching on the ISC Sports Network.
Ballpark here in Versailles and Dearborn Warren County. Such a privilege to be with you today at South Ripley High School. Thank you again to our production team. Special thanks to our Red Scoreboard and Productions crew. Appreciate y'all being out there. Nick Prince, Jim Merkel, great job. At this time, I'm going to hand it back to the beautiful press box and to our PA announcer for today's doubleheader. We have South Ripley taking on the Rising Sunshiners. Baseball at 5. Softball starting at 7. And let's ask our superintendent to kick it off.
Thank you very much, Charlie. I want to give a shout out to Greg Rakestraw and the ISC Sports Network who are here today. Today's game is being live streamed, so you can check it out, the festivities and the game. But thanks, big round of applause for ISC Sports, Greg Rakestraw, for being here today. Fans, thank you for coming out. And without further ado, we're going to kick it up to the press box. So, Coach Goral, Coach McNew, you got it. Thank you for coming. And go
You know, the two best weather days I had been a part of in the last month, both have involved an opening day. One was the Great American Ballpark at the end of March. Today it's towards the end of April. But it is the grand opening ceremonies in doubleheader featuring the Rising Sun Shiners and the Raiders of South Ripley. For those of you that joined us at 4 o'clock, we had our opening ceremonies. Those of you just joining now at about 5:20 Eastern time. We are, well, I want to say courtside, but we are down the first base line next to the South Ripley dugout as these two OVRC rivals get ready to meet up against each other. Greg Rakestraw, master of ceremonies for our day today, is Rob Moorhead, the superintendent of South Ripley Schools. And we will have guests that will join us throughout the course of the broadcast as well, including the president and CEO of the Cincinnati Reds, and Phil Castellini, that joins us now. Phil, thank you so much for being here and for what the Reds have meant to this project here in Versailles, Indiana.
Well, I tell you what, it's a beautiful day to be out here in Reds country, and I've just been blown away from the minute I hit the property. What an unbelievable project, and with all the partners that came together to get it done, I feel like we're in the dugout right here. And you've just been giving me a scoop. I mean, this is a full-on professional broadcast of a high school baseball game. This is pretty amazing.
It absolutely
It's
is.
awesome.
Rake does it big when Rake does
Yeah,
it.
I tell you what, this is pretty cool.
Well, thank you for being here. And the offshoot of this, at least to get this started, was the 150th anniversary of the Reds back in 2019. And it became this building or a rebuilding of high school fields. And obviously it's a tri-state area. There's downtown Cincinnati and Southwest Ohio. There's northern Kentucky. Why was this place the right place to have your first field in Southeast Indiana?
Again, as you mentioned, we had been fixing fields up just with the resources that the Community Fund had, and we've been building those over the years. So starting in 2006, we've done over 350 fields all over Reds country, but the traditional dirt in fields and whatnot, and we could only do so much, so we improved a lot of fields, but we recognized that the synthetic fields just make the game so much better for the youth programs. Less rainouts, they're safer. You can even do wheelchair handicap accessible. I mean, there's so many more things you can do, but they're just so expensive. So starting back in 2009 is when we first started doing synthetic field projects in conjunction with our P&G partnership. And St. E's came on board, and as you mentioned, for the 150th in 2019, we did a big project on either side of the river, both synthetic infields. This is full synthetic, which is even better. And so that was really the inspiration. But we have to find the partners that can wrap around what we in St. E's bring to the table. So Versailles, South Ripley, and all of the wonderful partners you heard listed in the ceremony, that's the rest of what it takes to get it together. So we have to find a community that's ready to carry the rest of that load, both economically and the volunteers and in kind that comes along with it. And so that's what it takes, is a community that's ready to do all of the rest of what they can get when we start with that kind of lead gift.
I joke with Rob off the air, and if you've been around a broadcast for he and I, this is the case most times. This will be part talk show, part play-by-play that we'll be doing during the course of the day. So I want to make sure
comedy show, as I learned from our
without a doubt, no
time
doubt
with
about
Rob
that.
so far.
Want to give you the Rising Sun batting lineup as get things started. Cooper Marica is the shortstop that is leading things off. The center fielder will be batting next for Rising Sun in Weston Cumberworth. Aiden White is the pitcher, batting third. Landon Simpson, the third baseman, bats fourth. DJ Williams is the catcher, batting fifth. Caleb Powell is the second baseman, batting sixth. CJ Berkeley, the first baseman, bats seventh. Carson Wilson in right field bats eighth. And Clinton Crandall is the left fielder, batting ninth. No DH, all 9 positional players will bat for the Shiners, who come in at 5-3 on the season. Rob, I'll have you start here. To have this facility to be able to, just from a scheduling standpoint, put baseball and softball and play middle school, younger, et cetera here, what does that mean to this community?
A ton, Greg. We've already played a couple of junior high baseball games on it. The other night, we did a junior high school baseball doubleheader with the junior high playing first, and then the high school stuck around and played under the lights, which was really cool. So the flexibility it provides us is just going to be a game changer for our students. And I don't know how often Greg will do the double headers with baseball, softball like we are tonight, just because you'll see after a while moving that portable mound is going to be a little bit of a challenge, and then getting the portable fence up. We'll make it happen tonight because we're going to have all hands on deck, but what we've got planned, there's already 4 other dates where the girls softball team is going to play on this field when the baseball team is not playing on it. So just the flexibility that provides, and Phil mentioned it during his comments during the program, and that is rainouts. So in southeast Indiana, the southwest Ohio area, the tri-state area, we get a ton of rain this time of year in the spring. You can absorb that rain now and be able to play baseball on here 15 minutes later.
And by the way, folks, the sectional for baseball coming right here to Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark here in late May. So here's Cooper America coming to the plate. Cooper on the season batting .379. Has 11 hits in 8 games, has an RBI and a double. Gabe Stone is on the mound for South Ripley. His second appearance of the season. First pitch swinging, and that will go down for a base hit. Again, it is a grass outfield. Turf extends a few feet past the traditional kind of baseball diamond. Rob, if you don't mind, kind of walk us through what the construction process was like to kind of merge the 2 fields, so to speak, as you were getting ready for this season.
Definitely, Greg. First of all, we were able to get the drainage work and all that done in the fall. So in September, we were able to get that done, and then Sprint Turf came in right behind and started laying the turf down. The guys who did the dirt work did a fantastic job of not tearing up the outfield. So we got that down and did a really good job in the fall, and then we let the winter go by, and then we came back out in March, and we got sod laid across the what's the word I'm looking for? The apron there, Greg.
Seam,
where
you can't see the seam. It's
exactly, Phil. That's
they really did a nice
that's
job.
what we were going for. Is they did a wonderful job laying that sod up against the seam there, and it is seamless. And so that's kind of been the process. You talk about Gabe Stone being on the mound. His dad, Tyler, it was Tyler's company, Shooty Excavating, that did the excavating work and also came out and laid the sod. And the other thing we did, Greg, is we got the baseball guys involved, helping lay that sod and helping do some of the dirt work. And a little sweat equity never hurt anybody either.
Runner goes, he'll have to go back because trying to move the man over was Cumberworth. As a team through 8 games, rising some with 23 steals in the season. And America has 3. Phil, I'll kind of kick it back to you again. As I said, first project like this in southeastern Indiana, but Rob and I can tell similar stories. Southern Indiana natives that grow up in Reds country and fans of Reds country. And the example I give of Reds fandom from the state of Indiana, when you go to a weekday day game, seemingly half the license plates say Indiana on it. Just your thoughts on the role that this state plays in kind of feeding Reds Nation.
Yeah, and you know, I probably didn't give you a fair answer to your first question. It's taken us way too long to get into South Indiana to do this project, but you know, these bigger projects really started originally with a partnership with P&G, and they bring about 350 volunteers to our field makeover, which we've been doing for well over a decade. And they really, by design, wanted to keep those projects closer to downtown because that's where all their volunteers are coming from. And then the partnership with St. E's, they originally started and focused on Northern Kentucky, so we've done a lot of great work over there. But as you know, they cover this region as well. So it's really the partnership I mentioned. And so having the partnership with St. E's, and then we have to find the right community that's ready to partner and help get the projects done and then maintain them after they're done. So it's taken us some time, but you can't have a stronger part of Reds country than this part of Indiana. We come down here on our caravan, as you know, to, you know, all kinds of different, you know, we are in Madison and Batesville and all over southeast Indiana. So it's taken us a long time to get down here. And as Rob pointed out, when I finally got down here, the Reds start winning in April. So what are you going to say?
Not that you can struggle to hear Reds games on 700 WLW, but just for the purposes, great radio affiliates, WRBI in Batesville, WROX, of course, in Madison. And since you're winning in April, let's talk about that. 5-1 road trip, 16-9. Your thoughts about an outstanding first 4 weeks of the Reds season?
Well, just so excited for our fans first and foremost, and excited for the players and coaches. I actually called Tito early this morning just to thank him for a great road trip and inspiring all the fans in Reds country. The town is alive and excited, and all of our Reds fans are so hungry for a winner, and we as stewards of this franchise are so hungry to give it to them. And the couple pieces that have been added, Sal has been such an impactful player. McLean coming back and really being McLean of old and the core that we already had. And we've been doing a lot of this with some of our best pitching, not even there yet, working through some injury stuff. So the way this team's come together, they just don't quit. Tito is just, he's a one-of-a-kind guy, manager, leader. We're so blessed to have him. And these guys are hungry. You know, they got a taste for postseason last year, and they want more, and that's what you want. You want a team that doesn't quit, that can't stand to lose, and is looking forward to October baseball, and we're ready for that.
Every weekend at Great American Ballpark can be a special weekend, but this is one of them because it's Hall of Fame weekend. What are the next 3 days going to be like for you and the staff?
It's such a special time, and this is one of the earlier dates that we've done an induction weekend. So we're excited about that. Such a great class with Sandra Sweet-Lou and Brandon Phillips coming back has been special, and and Aaron Harang, all such great guys, such great Cincinnati Reds. And Brandon's been a busy guy since he left Cincinnati, but he's been in and around Cincinnati, affiliated with the Yalls for a while, and he's running a professional softball team. And we talked to him about maybe doing an exhibition game up at Great American at some point. Didn't work with the schedule this year, but he's excited to come back. We're excited to have him back. He was a living highlight reel and a fan favorite and did so much for us in the community. And we're really excited to get him and all these guys back. And it's a great week. As you know, it's a weekend. It's not just kind of a single day. And Rick Walls and our Hall of Fame do such a great job of capturing and celebrating the history of this franchise. And we're excited. Hopefully the rain is going to, hold off enough to make sure we get it all in and have a great weekend.
Phil, I know you're busy. We'll let you go. A pleasure to meet you. Thank you
likewise,
so much for
guys.
being
Thanks
here.
for all you're doing out here. Great partnership. Tell me when you're doing your stand-up, Rob. I'm going to come see you. And send me that stuff on the brick, man. I want to be out here.
I will do that.
All right,
Phil,
guys.
Before
Thanks,
you
Phil.
take,
God
thank you
bless.
so much. It
bet.
means the world to us, not only that the Reds partnered with us, but that you took time to come out and be a
My
part
pleasure.
of our festivities
Happy
today.
to be out here.
We love you in Southeast Indiana. Come back anytime, and
Amen.
go Reds.
All right. Go Raiders, go Reds.
Phil Castellini, again, President and CEO of the Reds, kind of join us here off the top of the broadcast. Again, Greg Rakestraw, Rob Moorhead with you. We'll get you to a break after the bottom half of the first inning. Again, we'll get you the lineup here momentarily for South Ripley. Sean Reilly will be leading things off for the South Ripley Raiders. He is the starting second baseman. Ethan Schmaltz is the catcher for South Ripley today, batting second. Mason McNew is their slugger. He bats third. Trevor Kastner is the third baseman, batting fourth. Gabe Stone, the pitcher, will bat fifth. Austin Hodge, the left fielder, bats sixth. Hamden Hodge is the DH, batting seventh. Brogan Buchanan is the shortstop, batting eighth. Bodie Block is the center fielder, batting ninth. Gabe Stewart, by the way, is the right fielder and will not feature in the lineup for the Raiders today. Make sure we give you the information for the young man that is on the mound today. It is Aiden White that we saw come to bat for Rising Sun. Aiden making his third appearance of the season. His ERA, pretty solid 3.5. He's thrown just a total of 2 innings, though, so far. 3 hits, 1 run, 2 bases on balls, and 4 strikeouts. He has faced a total of 13 batters on the season. How you doing, buddy? You doing all right? It's been a busy day for you.
Rake, I'm telling you, been going nonstop since before noon, and I am overwhelmed. I'm really just trying to take it all in, Greg, to think that you and I just sat here with the president and CEO of the Cincinnati Reds right between us and taking selfies. He's shooting me text messages, and it's just incredible. And I am overwhelmed to look out at that windscreen and see the Cincinnati Reds logo, the Reds Community Fund, and know that a Major League Baseball team has partnered with us at South Ripley. And, it's just been fantastic. And, Rake, I'm so glad you're here for it. You're documenting this on ISC Sports. We'll be able to go back and watch this in the future. And it really is something we've said. You're going to hear a lot today. Just a great day to be a Raider.
So Sean Reilly, who is a freshman, batting a .158 in the season, has 3 runs batted in. He'll lead things off here for South Ripley. In 5-3 Rising Sun, 5-1 South Ripley. First pitch fastball. Second baseman gets that true hop on that turf, and both leadoff batters were first pitch swing, and this time it's an out, and there's one away.
Raiders started out 5-0, Rake, and just had their first loss on Monday night in extra innings, an 8-7. I can't remember the final score. It was a 1-run game in 8 innings. I said that wrong. extra innings and tough loss, but they're looking to bounce back in this ORVC contest this afternoon.
Well, you've got an entire school corporation to run, so I mean, you can't know the score of every athlete, as big of a fan as you are. And I think the young men are on the impression they're renting the facility.
Yeah.
2 pitches and 2 down.
We're not wasting any time today. They're swinging at strikes right out of the gate.
They're being very courteous to the softball team, knowing they're coming up following this contest. Rob, when did this process begin? When did this become, hey, this is something that might actually happen?
51 weeks ago.
Okay.
Well, it even goes back a little further than that, but it was, and I say that because next week is the anniversary of when I got the call from Carrie Graham from the St. Elizabeth Foundation, and Carrie called. There it is, Greg. 3 pitches, 3 swings.
This one lifted to right field. Wynn will knock it down. Right fielder is there. I tell you what, let's finish that conversation on the back half of this timeout. South Ripley not shy about going after it on their first at-bats here in this brand new field. Nothing through 1 as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Scoreless here in the debut game of the Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. Those of you that are in Ripley County know who that name is. Those of you that are outside will work on updating that for you. 5, 6, and 7. Williams, Powell, and Berkeley do up for Rising Sun. Again, it is a baseball then softball doubleheader. You're catching on the ISC Sports Network. Greg Rakestraw, Rob Moorhead. Rob did a great job in the opening ceremonies recounting his spectacular hit from his senior season here at South Ripley. The important part is he was part of a sectional championship team in his days. He was a Doug Mankiewicz type, more of a defensive specialist as a first baseman than, say, a key bat in the lineup.
Definitely. That was one of 2 hits I got my senior year, Rake. So
We'll have you recount the other one here at some point in time.
I'm not sure I remember it.
Stone hops that one to home plate, and you hear a laugh track. It's not just Rob, it's Garen Colvin, who is the president and CEO of St. Elizabeth Healthcare, that again is one of the many groups that have made this day and this field possible going forward as the off-speed misses 2-1. Garen, welcome to our dugout side broadcast booth. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. What a thing to be able to televise a baseball game in a high school. So thank you for doing that.
Well, as you look out, as you see me pointing out towards left field as the camera focuses on us, your name is all over this ballpark, both in logo and it is going to be known as St. Elizabeth Ballpark. What does that mean to you and your company going forward?
It's just great to be a part of a great community. And so having our name on a banner of a field that looks this great, we're blessed.
Stone's pitch a little bit high, and leadoff man is aboard for the 2nd inning in a row. First batter walk today. Caleb Powell will be coming up next. How did you go about becoming a partner with the Reds on this endeavor?
So we've go back about 8 or 9 years. This is our 4th ball field that we've been a part of, partnering with the Reds. They're a great organization, and they're about going into a community and making it a better place. And that's right with our mission at St. Elizabeth Healthcare.
Now, Rob was telling me this kind of off the air because, again, Indianapolis is more the base for me. You've been in the Cincinnati area for some time, but kind of crossing the state line to Indiana, is relatively new. What's the entry to Indiana been like for your company?
So 5 years ago, we met with Dearborn County Hospital at the time, and we were really excited that they called us and definitely wanted to partner.
So ground ball to the shortstop. Unfortunately, throw got away from the first baseman. Bit of a collision between first baseman and runner. Looks like no interference. He'll stay at first. Error on the play moves the runner over to third. And the Shiners trying to maybe spoil the home debut of the Raiders a bit here. They've got runners on the corners with nobody out here in the top half of the second inning. C.J. Berkeley, the first baseman, comes to bat here for Rising Sun. Continue if you'd like to.
I'm good.
I was a part of that at the time, Rake. I was on the board at Dearborn County Hospital, High Point Health, and around the time COVID came in, and we were in need of a partner, and St. Elizabeth was fantastic to come over. They're a big enough system that if it were under different leadership than Garen Colvin, they could have absolutely tried to starve out our small hospital and then just take the market share for themselves, and they never, ever approached it that way. They came in and said, how can we help? How can we be a partner? And they did just that, and ended up, we became a part of their system as St. Elizabeth Dearborn, and it has just been fantastic for the Southeast Indiana community. Garen knows I like to brag on it all the time that St. Elizabeth Dearborn is a CMS 5-star hospital, the absolute highest rating that a hospital can receive.
Yeah, and we're blessed to have Rob as one of our board members representing Dearborn County. It's just his leadership. Well, this field wouldn't be built without his leadership, first of all. And secondly, he really represents Dearborn. We know he loves this community, and he serves it well on our board.
Count now 3-1 as that pitch to Berkeley veers outside. Berkeley batting .304 on the season. Berkeley with 5 runs batted in, 7 hits and 2 runs scored. Berkeley, a junior, number 7 batter in the lineup. Puts the bunt down, but that was in foul territory.
Greg, the St. Elizabeth Foundation was a big part of this project. I'll give Garen a chance to talk about Kerry Graham, who was the point man on this project from the St. Elizabeth side.
Yeah, Kerry's a great individual. This was the 4th field that he led for us. And
swing and a miss, strikeout number 1.
And just he gave us his date of retirement. Fortunately, I was able to talk him into staying one more year to help us build this field. So a great accomplishment. And again, he's the boots on the ground for St. Elizabeth on all these projects.
Now, did I hear properly you had windscreen duty out here earlier today? Bunt goes down, runner coming home. Now he stops. They'll make the play at first. Runner then will score. So for South Ripley, they do take the out, but squeeze play works for Rising Sun. And it's now 1-0 in favor of the Shiners. And Rob, that is something you do see a bit more of here in kind of small school baseball. You know, at the major league level, a play like that has gone away.
Yeah.
Not in single A and 2A high school baseball.
Get them on, get them over, get them in. Rising Sun did just that. I thought they executed that very well. Credit to the runner at third, waiting till the pitcher turned to fire that ball to first base before he made his final break. So outstanding. You were starting to talk about the duties out there today, and Greg, St. Elizabeth had around 25 volunteers here today that gave us a whole afternoon to help us get things done on this project. And you want to talk about a CEO that leads by example, and that's Garen Colvin. He was out there himself helping with that windscreen. We even had to do a little math today, didn't we, Garen?
Yes, went way back to my background, and we were pretty accurate.
I thought we did okay. So that windscreen, especially when you guys got around to right field there, that wind was a challenge for you.
Yeah, it's going to take a shot to get one out of this park today, for sure.
Clinton Crandall batting .222 on the season. Has 3 runs batted in, 4 hits in total. Finds himself in a 1-2 count here. 1-0 lead for the Shiners, top half of the second. They foul that one off. Crandall doing a good job of spoiling a lot of pitches. What's next for the folks at St. Elizabeth?
So I think we're probably getting ready for the impact of HR1 on healthcare. And then I don't know if you're familiar, but we do this every other year. So we'll probably take a year off and then figure out where our next ball field's going to go.
Well, you're welcome to come back to Indiana anytime. We'd love to have you.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Greg, because it was at a Reds baseball game at a St. Elizabeth event when I was talking to Kerry Graham, and he said, Rob, Guerin, and the team, they want us to look for a field in southeast Indiana to do. And I said, well, I hope you would consider us. And we were one of the ones that they considered. And, Greg, you were asking.
Foul ball.
Foul. You were asking how that came about. Kerry, along with Charlie Frank from the Reds Community Fund, and also Kenny Pope from the Reds Youth Academy, came out here and paid a visit. Derek Hutton and I, our high school principal, met with them and showed them around our facility and had great conversation. And we know they were considering other places as well. And I went back to that 51 weeks ago comment, Greg, because it was the first week of May when I got the call, and I'll let you call this play.
Ground ball gets past the shortstop. That's an RBI single for the number 9 hitter in Crandall. It is a 2-0 lead now for the Shiners.
Got the call from Kerry Graham. I was at a conference in Nashville, Tennessee, and my phone rang, and I saw Kerry name on it, and I jumped up, went out of the meeting, and answered. He said, Rob, I just want you to know we've selected South Ripley for our next field renovation. And Kerry told me a little while ago, he's the first time I've ever seen you speechless, Rob. And
that takes a lot.
Rake, you've been around long enough to know that doesn't happen very often, but I was, absolutely. And that started a process of meetings and planning led by the three gentlemen I mentioned, Kerry Graham, Charlie Frank, and Kenny Pope. And we've just had a blast putting this project together.
So 2 down, runner at first base, and Cooper America get a flare out to right field his first time up.
Garen, have you ever gotten to visit the Reds community, the Reds Baseball Academy, Youth Baseball Academy?
No, I haven't.
Fantastic. So one of the things we did is Kenny Pope hosted us, and we went over and looked at their fields at the Reds Youth Academy, which are synthetic infield like this. And then we toured around and went to several of the other fields that you guys have done have done on previous projects. And Kerry met us for that trip as well, and that was great. And I think your hometown got one of these renovations a few years ago.
Absolutely. My hometown in Ludlow was able to build a field. It was probably our second field that we built.
Runner goes. Swing. Throw down will not be in time. Stolen base. Second of the day so far for the Shiners.
And Garen, one of the things I was blown away by when we went back and looked at the events like we did here today, at how you did those in Ludlow and some of the other fields you did, and just seeing that pop up on MLB.com. And when you Google it and find these fields, all the national press that these fields get.
Warner gets the late hold at third, and given how close the right fielder was, probably a good decision. Runners on the corners with 2 down. America now 2 for 2 to start today's game. That would be the reason why he's the leadoff hitter, get him up as often as possible.
Garen, tell me about your playing days. You played then at Ludlow and then on into college.
Yeah, played at Ludlow, then graduated, went to Thomas More. There was a coach there by the name of Jim Connor. He's a legend. He coached Dave Justice, and Dave Justice was the Major League Rookie of the Year, and he coached Dave Cowens in basketball, who was the NBA. And so I think he's got a claim to fame there that is unmatched.
And he coached Garen Colvin.
Runner goes.
What was your position, Garen?
So I was a utility. So I was a pitcher and played center field was my main 2 positions. But going to a small school, if our third baseman pitched, I played third base. If our shortstop pitched, I played shortstop. So it depends on who was pitching.
Ground ball. Second baseman's got it. He'll go the short way to first, and the inning is over. Garen, thank you so much for being here today.
And thank you for what you do for high school athletics. It's unbelievable.
You got it. Garen Colvin from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Nice to join us. Shiners play 2. 2-0 Rising Sun leads through 1.5 as you're watching on ISC.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
4, 5, and 6 coming up this time through for South Ripley. Kastner, Stone, and Austin Hodge. They took 3 pitches, 3 swings, and 3 outs in the home half of the first. So Trevor Kastner, despite the fact he's hitting north of 560, maybe told, hey, take one the first time up. We'll see if that plays out. Greg Rakestraw, Rob Moorhead, and it is a cavalcade of stars that is joining us on the program. The man in the middle is Bob Meyer. 34 years spent working in the South Ripley Community School System. These days, he's the president of the board of directors of the Tyson Fund, which is very well known in these parts, but again, knowing we're reaching a larger audience on the program today, we'll tell you more about that in a moment. First of all, first pitch, and Kastner indeed was taken, and that's a ball. Count now 1-0. Mr. Meyer, pleasure to meet you. How are you, sir?
Greg, it's an honor to listen to you many different times, especially when you're working with this guy. But it is an honor to be here, and it's a great day to be a Raider.
You did a wonderful job in our opening ceremonies of explaining what the Tyson Fund is. But for our audience that may not have been watching that, give me the elevator version of what the Tyson Fund means to this community.
Well, the Tyson Fund to this community is just the fund in this area. It provides a lot of opportunities for different organizations, nonprofit organizations, etc. The Tyson Fund was started by James Tyson back in 1930. Mr. Tyson had become friends, had moved to Chicago, became friends with Mr. Walgreen of Walgreen Drugstores. And Mr. Walgreen wanted to start a second store, and he didn't have the money to do that. Mr. Tyson had some money. So he loaned him the money for the second store, and lo and behold, Mr. Walgreen's businesses took off. Mr. Walgreen, being a man of good means, decided he was going to reward Mr. Tyson by paying him $75,000 worth of stock in Walgreens. That Walgreens stock was what Mr. Tyson started the Tyson Fund with. And he came back to his hometown, wanted to build a church, first of all, to honor his mother, Ezra Tyson. And then he wanted to build a library and ended up building Tyson Auditorium, which is where we played basketball for years, Greg, as you well know. Mm-hmm. And the Tyson Fund sort of took off from there. In his will, it stipulates in the trust that we can only use it for certain things. It has to be first of all, used for the church. The church gets 10% of the draw every year. The library gets 10% of the draw every year. And the other 80% we can divide up among nonprofit organizations, such as the school, etc. And Derek Hutton and Rob decided last year when they got this opportunity, Derek came and presented to our board about this project, mentioned $100,000, and my immediate response was, no way. But I knew what our finances was going to be. And we talked about it for a while, and I went home and slept on it and talked to my wife about it, and who's president of the town board here in Versailles, by the way. And went back to Rob, I think a couple days later, called him, said, hey, I need to talk to you. Went up and we sat down in the superintendent's office, and I said, hey, how about we do this? If we do it the way that I'm presenting to you, we can do the $100,000. He almost jumped across the table.
Absolutely.
But he
Take yes for an answer is what I know, Greg.
It didn't take him long to say yes, but anyway, we are just tickled to death that we are able to partner with the high school. We've done other projects here. We've done the track restructured. We provided the money for the seats in the auditoria. We helped with the sound system in the auditoria. I don't know, we've done a number of projects through the years, and we're just elated that we were able to be a big part of this project.
I'm going to do something that's very remedial for the folks, and we're going to keep it here for the crew. We're going to keep it here through this break and just stay to the top of the third inning again. Bob Meyer from the Tyson Fund trustees kind of joining us to see the logo of the Tyson Fund that is forever going to be emblazoned here on the windscreens here at the baseball field. Rob, I'm going to let you, as someone that literally grew up in that building, everyone in this part of the state knows about the Tyson Auditorium. For our larger audience on ISC, try to give me the 90-second version of the history of the Tyson Auditorium.
Tyson Auditorium is where the South Ripley Raiders called their home as a basketball facility up until 2008. So from the time of the consolidation, which would have been back in 1967, the Raiders played their games there. Prior to that, Greg, the Versailles Lions played their games there. And a little piece of history also is back in 1954 when the Milan Indians went on their state championship run. They were getting such big crowds, they played all their home games in Tyson Auditorium. So it is a gym full of history. Means a lot to me that I played my high school basketball there, playing for Coach Meyer and Coach Ted Ahaus as well. And it is just a facility. We did a Back to Tyson game this year, Greg, and went back and played a throwback game at Tyson, and just one of the best nights of the year, right up there with what we're having here today.
Greg, I've got one little story to tell that, and I think Rob knows this story, but Tyson Auditorium, Mr. Tyson, they approached him about the money for that, and they wanted to make it a gym. They wanted to call it Tyson Gym. He was not a big advocate of athletics at that time, but he said, if you make it an auditorium, put a stage on one end, I'll give you the money for that. So that's why it was called Tyson Auditorium instead of Tyson Gym, was because to get the money, they had to grant Mr. Tyson's wishes.
I just think this is the perfect time to talk about what Little Mermaid's playing this weekend for the South Ripley Drama Club. See, I pay attention to the signs.
You sure do.
You go to the high
You
school.
sure do. Yeah, that's right. And be sitting in seats that were funded by the Tyson Fund to help us get those when the construction project happened here in 2008. So an example, again, of how the Tyson Fund is always there for us, and they're such great community partners. And, Greg, I know your guys will get a shot of it here, but the James H. Tyson signature down the first baseline just is something that we are so proud of that'll adorn this field forever.
And that is actually, Greg, that is a copy of Mr. Tyson's signature. That is not something that we just, one of us wrote out. First of all, I couldn't write that neat, but that is Mr. Tyson's signature.
Great Coach Meyer and I have a lot of history in Tyson Auditorium, too, with playing basketball for him back in the day when I was playing for him on the JV team, and then he was an assistant coach on the varsity. And I don't know, Coach, creative running is something that will live with me forever.
Rob was not, should I say, real coordinated back then. He had grown so fast that he was a little uncoordinated. So to try and improve his movements and make things easier for him, I come up with something called creative running, where he would sprint to midcourt, do a somersault or a backward flip or something. One night his father walked in as he was doing one of those, and I don't think Mr. Moorhead was overly thrilled that I had his son doing, but when I told him what he was doing it for, he goes, well, he definitely needs improvement in that area. But
well, trust me, Coach Meyer and Coach Ahaus had carte blanche with me when it came to my dad. He was mad if they weren't getting on me and weren't making me run. So that was he just didn't think I could do it without getting hurt.
And again, I feel like I'm translating South Ripley for everybody else in our outside audience today. So for those that don't know, Rob's dad was the longtime basketball coach and then went into school administration, which is exactly the path that Rob has gone on, coaching and then becoming the superintendent eventually here at his alma mater at South Ripley High School. So, yes, if there was one parent that was going to give, again, full support to the coaching staff as to how to coach their child, the late, great Gus Moorhead would be that guy.
And Gus was the guy that hired me back in the day, and also Of course, when I was done coaching, I went into and became the high school principal. So, yeah, quite a lineage there, to say the least. But Mr. Moorhead, he was quite the athletic supporter, as is Rob, and their family's just been awesome around here.
To bring it back to the Tyson Fund again, there's a lot of wonderful charitable people across the state of Indiana whose legacies are given back to their hometown. I don't think there's many places like this that has something like do the folks here kind of realize how unique and how lucky they are to have something like that here that helps so many fabrics of the community?
Well, I think there's a lot of them that do. One of the things that I'm not sure a lot of the people in town know is we take care of the town in the fact that a lot of the water bills, the sewer bills, those kind of things are not, if you compare them to other areas, they're not as much because of the money that the Tyson Fund donates to the town. So, I'm not really sure a lot of the newcomers know. I know the older folks understand it and what the Tyson Fund actually means. But, his trust states, like I said, the church, the library, the town, and the schools. Those are the four biggies. And those are the ones that normally get the bulk of the money. And there's been 3 or 4 years here recently that the school didn't get anything because we were being torn to other directions. So that's why I am so pleased that we were able to do this thing, because we had left them out a couple of years, and I just didn't want to leave them out another year. And we have some great people on the Tyson Fund, and there are 9 of us, 8 plus myself, and it's been just a pleasure to monitor that account.
Again, Bob Meyer, the president of the Tyson Fund Trustees, going to be our guest as we're going to roll people throughout the course of the broadcast. Just to reset a bit here, top half of the third, debut game, Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. Greg Rakestraw, Rob Moorhead with you. Strike number 2. Runner at third is Aiden White. Hit by a pitch, stole a base, sacrificed by DJ Williams over to third. Count goes to 1-2 with Gabe Stone looking to get through the top half of the third inning. And this one is lined foul.
Rick, I'll tell you something else about Coach Meyer, and that is he's done his share of broadcasting over the years as well. He and I got to call some games together this year on WRBI, and he called quite a few when I wasn't there as well. So he's not unfamiliar to the headset and the microphone.
It's a fun thing to do, and it keeps this old basketball coach involved.
Beats having a real job too, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. Plus, you get in free.
True.
And a lot of places you'll get free popcorn.
You get best seat in the house.
That's exactly
most of the time.
right. But it is a lot of work, but I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy the games that Rob and I work together.
Base hit for Powell. And the ball got away from the center fielder. He lost track of it. Well, it could have been an extra base, but he'll have to settle for a single and an RBI. It is a 3-0 lead for Rising Sun. And, Rob, I'm not sure the Shiners got the script for today's game.
No, they didn't. It's funny. I was talking to their coaches ahead of time. I thanked them for their patience during our ceremony and so forth. And I said, yeah, playing you guys this day. Rising Sun's had a solid baseball program. They are always competitive. And I said, not an easy game for the Raiders today with the Shiners coming to town. I know they'd like nothing better than to spoil our big day here.
I think I'm obligated to say they're trying to take your shine, I believe, is what they're going for.
Gabe's throwing the ball well, but he's just keeping it up a little bit. It's up right in the hitting zone, and they're taking advantage of it.
This is C.J. Berkeley, first baseman for Rising Sun. Struck out his first time up. Shiner's been aggressive on the base paths so far. Count goes to 1-1.
Ray, Coach Meyer may or may not know that you're on the Milan 54 Museum Board of Directors, so you do get down to Ripley County every now and then. And sometime when you come down, I want you to give me a shout, and we'll hook up with Coach. You need to have a tour of that Tyson United Methodist Church. It is nice.
Throw down to second base, and that is the end of the inning, and Coach, we'll let you go. Pleasure to meet you.
Greg, thanks
for
very
being here
much.
today.
Good to meet you.
You got it. Bob Meyer, again, the president
you,
of the Tyson Fund Trustees. Another special guest joins us next. We'll take this quick timeout to the bottom half of the third. We go. Rising Sun 3, South Ripley nothing, as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment. much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
Again, we are right next to the South Ripley dugout here at the all-new Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. Greg Rakestraw, Rob Moorhead, and Charlie Frank from the Reds Community Fund is kind of to join us here as the Raiders come to bat in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Rising Sun leading at 3-0. And Camden Hodge, first pitch swinging as so many of his teammates have been. This time he misses. Count goes to 0-1. Charlie did a great job as the master of ceremony for our opening get-together at 4 o'clock today.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. What a great event. What a great location. Just cannot say enough of how fortunate we are to have landed here. You know, there are only so many projects that we can do in a given time period, and for this to be the first major investment in Southeast Indiana, just we couldn't have been in a better location, working with better partners.
Ground ball to the shortstop to America. He fields it well. Of the 7 outs so far by South Ripley, of those, 5 or 6 have been ground ball outs. Brogan Buchanan will lead things off here for South Ripley. Buchanan, the shortstop, few RBI in the season, 7 of them, not bad from the number 8 position. Have I asked you to give kind of the elevator speech and say exactly what the Reds Community Fund is? Where do you begin?
Well, I say we're all about finding the next generation of people that care about our game and play our game. You know, I started with the Reds back in 2004. And back then, you know, really focusing on the game itself and figuring out how to get more people to the game was a nice to have. And, you know, a generation later, it's a need to have. Think of all the challenges in our game for young people. The expense of playing compared to what it used to be, the preponderance of select and travel ball that's really taken a dent out of, you know, rec ball and neighborhood ball. And the, you know, I mean, everything from, you know, now flag football as well as, you know, soccer and lacrosse. I mean, there's just a lot of challenges.
Third baseman able to make the play. That's Simpson. There's 2 down through a mutual friend, and you lived it. Frankly, I've just given it on the periphery. The RBI, reviving baseball in the inner cities. I know you play a big role in that for the Reds organization.
Yeah, you know, and we talked off air about a guy named Mike Lennox, who runs the RBI program in Indianapolis, and boy, he's done a great job there. We're so lucky in Cincinnati because the Reds are so invested in the work that we do. And, you know, hopefully the community got to see that up close and personal. I know that Rob and Derek have seen it now for over a year that we've been working together. You can't fake the level of commitment that the Castellini family and this ownership and leadership group have. But RBI, for folks that don't know, it's reviving baseball and softball in inner cities. And it's been Major League Baseball's version of Little League, you know, for all intents and purposes dating back to 1989. So for us, it's sort of the, you know, we try to build a pyramid of youth baseball participation. You know, we try to introduce kids from 4 to 8 through USA Baseball's Fun at Bat program and getting that into elementary schools, because kids in a lot of, you know, family situations aren't learning the language of baseball anymore. And then we fund a lot of teams, over 600 each year, from high school all the way down to coach pitch and 8U, 9U. And then the top of the pyramid for us, the way we run RBI, these are the kids that use our youth academy. They're with us literally year-round. The touch point is 3 or 4 times a week, and they are required to be a part of our scholars program. So we tell people we're trying to build major league citizens.
Swing and a miss. We'll keep you here. We'll send you over to the top of the fourth inning, and we'll keep the conversation going. Charlie Frank, the executive director of the Reds Community Fund. Rob has mentioned this a couple of times. Can you just drop the Youth Academy? Exactly what is that?
So I got to give credit to Reds great and Cooperstown Hall of Famer Joe Morgan. He used to wear out the former Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig and tell him, boy, you know, this industry is investing billions of dollars developing the game all around the world, and we are neglecting our own backyards. You know, we've had a wonderful spike in the participation from a lot of the Spanish-speaking countries, and that's been beautiful for our game. But, you know, the percentage of blacks and browns in baseball, especially the African-American community, is lower today than it was in 1954 when Chuck Harmon broke the color barrier with the Reds.
From Washington, Indiana, by the way.
That's right.
Yep.
That is right, yeah. We have a statue of Chuck at our Reds Academy. So Joe is really trying to get Major League Baseball to invest domestically. And the first facility they built was in Compton, California, which is primarily an outdoor facility. They also opened in Houston and then in New Orleans. And we raised our hands and ultimately, with Joe's assistance, became the first northern climate market, which required an indoor training center. We have a 120 by 120 beautiful infield that if you're a young kid walking in there, you're never going to want to leave. Pitching tunnels, classrooms, 4 fields outside, the city's invested. It feels like an extension of being at Great American Ballpark, and it's something we're incredibly proud of.
Rob, what's been like working with Charlie on this project?
Oh, my gosh. It is fantastic. Charlie is the ultimate professional. Has so many contacts and just has helped walk us through this process, Greg, because it is a process. And Charlie has been the lead in terms of making sure that we did this right from a baseball standpoint. And he wanted to make sure that dimensionally, that safety, that everything that would provide the best experience for our student athletes was taken care of in a first-class manner. Charlie and Kenny Pope from the Reds Youth Academy hosted us over at the Youth Academy and then took us on a tour to go see some of the other fields that they had done so we could get a really well-rounded look at what we were jumping into here. And he's just been fantastic. And this morning on 700 WLW, they did a nice little piece about our project. And Greg, when a guy like Tom Brenneman makes this comment on the air, and Tom said, and this will embarrass Charlie, but Tom said,
yes, it will.
I will say without question that the best hire the Cincinnati Reds have made has been Charlie Frank. And that speaks volumes. And, I agree with Tom.
Berkeley, who was at the plate when Powell was thrown out at second base, who is at bat, restarts. Count goes full. Stone, who had thrown 3 2/3 innings on the season, on for his 4th inning of work. And Charlie Frank, executive director of the Reds Community Fund, our guest as our broadcast continues on here on the ISC Sports Network.
And Greg, I got to say that I think Tito Francona was a pretty good hire too.
Tito was a good hire.
Close second.
Tito was a good second.
I think we're not necessarily in the same lane, but very, very kind anyway.
No, Charlie is extremely humble, but it speaks volumes for Charlie, the number of trips he has made out here to South Ripley during this process.
Well, it's easy to see it. Well, hey, there's this new turf field. So, Rob, what else is new that fans are seeing today?
Absolutely. When you look out, Greg, and you see the windscreen, that is all new and all a result of the work we've been doing here. When you listen in the background and you hear our PA announcer, our whole PA system is new. When you look around at the signage around the field, Greg, all the signage is new as a part of this project. The press box, we repainted that, we refurbished it, put some outstanding logos for our sponsors there as well. A brand new sign when you come into the field, Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark, done in conjunction with our partners at the Green Sign Company. You will see in the softball game that we have a portable fence. It's actually down the left field line right now in foul territory. We'll be moving that portable fence out to set up during the softball game. The pitcher's mound is a portable mound, Greg, and that's going to be a fun process to watch later. It's going to take 3 men and a boy to carry every section of that thing because it is heavy, but we'll get it taken care of after a while.
Well, Landon Seekman is in to run for Berkeley. Berkeley will likely re-enter in the bottom half of the inning, and Seekman's going to have a chance to test those legs. That ball hot by the catcher. And so a wild pitch. And again, we've talked as much about the community and the Reds as well we should in this broadcast. And as well as the game. However, part of the reason why Rising Sun is up 3-0 in the top of the fourth, they have gotten their leadoff runner on base now all 4 innings so far of this one. Charlie, if there are others that are watching this broadcast and say, hey, I'm in Reds country, I love to see a field put together like this, or I frankly want to get more involved with the Reds community movement, what's the best way to go about doing so?
Best way is probably to check us out online, reds.com/community. It'll tell you a lot of the outreach programs that we're using to hopefully grow baseball and softball into, the sport that it was generations ago. It teaches so many valuable life lessons and is such a unique community element. So you can find all about our programs, our youth academy. And
diving effort couldn't make the play, run will score.
And it'll also let people know how do you volunteer, how do you find out more about our field renovation efforts.
And that will be a triple.
To be honest with you, Greg, I mean, this is a collaboration between the Reds and St. Elizabeth Healthcare that's every other year. I love all the emails and phone calls I'm getting because of the story that's out about Forrest G. Waters Field here at South Ripley. So I want that to be a problem. I want people to say, hey, this looks great. We're really excited about, South Ripley. We just played the Raiders. Their field looks great. But it's a process, as Rob knows. I mean, it takes years to really incubate these sorts of partnerships. They don't just happen overnight. We do have programs that do provide equipment and modest field support and uniform support that's available on an annual basis. So I hope folks will check us out at reds.com/community. I'll let people know too. My name is Charlie Frank. It's cfrank@reds.com. If anyone wanted to hear more, we're talking with different community leaders and school superintendents and recreation directors and, and volunteer leaders every single day. And our goal is not to say yes or no, but when. We want to help any organization that wants to invest in our game, no matter where they are in Reds country.
So up to the plate here is Clinton Crandall. And so Berkeley walked, Siegman in to run for him.
Rick, we had benefited from the generosity of the Reds Community Fund in St. Elizabeth through that baseball and softball equipment as well. Our athletic director and coaches will run over to Northern Kentucky in the late winter, early spring, and come back with a truckload of equipment that we're being donated by the generosity of the Reds Community Fund.
I got to say, I feel better about never winning the 50-50 when I go to a Reds game now.
There you
doing
go.
all this wonderful work. So.
But that is one of the fundraisers for
Yes.
the Reds Community Fund. And, Charlie, there's other ways you can donate
There sure
when you're
are,
there.
yeah. You know what? If you're a walker or a runner, we have our Red Legs Run coming up on Saturday, June 6th. That is reds.com/run. And we have a 10K, a 5K, a family 1 mile event. We have a Gappers Kids Fun Run around the warning track for kids 10 and under. And last year we also added an all abilities layer too. So we worked with Cincinnati Children's Hospital and added a great new layer. Everybody that participates in any of those events, you get a T-shirt and you get a finishing medal. You get a ticket to a Reds game. It's a great deal. So the Red Legs Run coming up on June the 6th. We also have Reds baseball and softball camps that begin on June 1st. And it's one of the few 4-fee programs that we run.
Play at the plate, he's safe. First baseman throw just a bit up the line. Swipe tag applied by the catcher and Schmaltz. Could not get Wilson in time. Runner is safe at first. McNew on the throw, and it's now 5-0 in favor of Rising Sun.
Yeah, Ethan did a good job coming up with that ball, but just couldn't quite get spun around to get the tag. Nice slide by the Rising Sun runner as well, getting to the outside.
Give Crandall an RBI for a second consecutive plate appearance, and first 3 batters all reach here for Rising Sun. America has singled twice as the top of the lineup now rolls through for a third time here for the Shiners.
Charlie, as well as the Reds have been playing and the Raiders have been playing, this game is kind of rolling out like the Reds game did earlier this afternoon.
There have been a lot of similarities. You guys got off to that 5-0 start,
Yes.
and I know there was a lot of pride, especially for the seniors, but both baseball and softball.
Runner goes, throw down,
Got him.
tag applied, safe.
Oh.
You want to tap your head for the ABS challenge here?
Well, we've got ISC Sports that can probably run a replay on that right now. Look at this, Charlie. High school baseball right here. What do you think?
Safe.
I think the right call.
He got in there.
Close play.
Umpires do a great job. We appreciate them. We wouldn't have baseball here without them, that's for sure.
Nice job, ISC, though, on that replay.
Count now 0-2. Thanks to our great crew that all made the trek from the Indianapolis area today.
And Rick, pardon my stepping on you, they got here early today. When we were getting out here setting up for our volunteer day, your guys were pulling in, and they've been here and busy. And to do a 4-camera shoot for a high school baseball game truly is another thing that makes this day so special for us.
Well, thanks to Vince Morales, Matthew Stein, Charlie Hemmick, Matt Badiato. Thanks to Eldon Wheeler, Elijah Mash. Thanks to Dalton Cox. Everybody involved in Greg Sharton on our broadcast crew. Chopper, left side, and shortstop had to hug the bag at second to keep the runner and Crandall close. So that's going to be a CNI single.
Rick, you told me these are the kind of shoots because I know you guys produce the Indianapolis Indians ball games as well.
Correct. Cumberworth got the base hit. So, in fact, we have a crew. Usually they play Wednesday 1:35 games. It's actually unique. This is one of their rare Wednesday evening games is about to get started as we speak at Victory Field.
It's a beautiful ballpark.
Of course, the Indians, the AAA club of the Reds on more than one occasion, but it's now been more than 25 years since that's been the case. Runner will go. Catcher will hang on to it with runner at third. So another stolen base for the Shiners, and they're trying to blow this one wide open. They're 5-0 in the top half of the 4th inning. Stone trying to pitch through some trouble here in the 4th. Off speed, misses. Schmaltz tried to frame that as best he could, but couldn't get the call. Count goes to 2-0.
Charlie, how special was it? And I'll let you speak to this. I know you helped make this happen, but for CEO and President Phil Castellini to be here and spend so much time with us today.
It means so much, and you know, I really appreciate the efforts that you made. I know it meant a lot to you, Rob, to have him here and have a representative from Reds ownership and leadership. And boy, I've worked for Phil now for 20 years, and I mean, they don't come a whole lot better. He's so bright, and he's so positive, and what he's done for the franchise. I mean, what he did in All-Star in 2015 to make that best in class and the civil rights game and with the 150th anniversary. I mean, he's just terrific. So I was, thrilled that he was here today, and he stayed for a while, and really enjoyed being a part of this. He and his dad, Bob, they have not missed any big community event we've ever hosted. You can't fake that over 2 decades. They care so much about this, and they owned, limited partnership with the Cardinals and the Orioles and the Rangers before they bought controlling interest of the Reds. And they really knew what they wanted this to look like in the community. And they put that stake in the ground the Friday night back in January of 2006, saying, hey, we're really going to make this a best-in-class community effort and authentic. And they've more than lived up to it. So having him out here today is not a surprise, but it's always great to see just how authentically he connects.
Pitching change coming for the Raiders, which will allow us to let you go enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. A pleasure to meet you, and thanks
Greg,
for being here today.
Yep, thank you so much.
Charlie Frank, again, he's Executive Director of the Reds Community Fund. We'll tell you about the new pitcher coming in here for South Ripley and Castner when we come back. Right now it's Rising Sun leading at 5-0 in the top half of the 4th as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better everyday after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree. We care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
So pitching change. Unfortunately, Stone's day ends after 3 1/3 innings. South Ripley goes to their second pitcher of the game. And this is Trevor Castner. He makes the move in from third base. Castner making his 3rd appearance of the season. He's thrown a total of 7 innings, has allowed 9 earned runs. He has walked 12 and struck out 7. Does not have a win nor a loss on the season. 5 different players have appeared as a pitcher in a game for the Raiders so far this year. Rob, of the teams that normally South Ripley sees during the course of the season, who are the baseball powerhouses here in the area?
You're looking at one of them here in Rising Sun. In the RVC, they're always going to be tough. And then our loss the other night came at the hands of the Southwestern Rebels. And Southwestern, if you look at their record right now, Rick, they're going to be about 3-8. But they play a very tough schedule early in the year by design. And they are always a local powerhouse. And both these let me think here a second. Southwestern will be in our section. Rising Sun will not, but Southwestern will definitely be one of our challenges. And Rising Sun, they've got a nice program, and you're seeing why today. Their kids come out aggressive. They swing the bats well, and they've done well on the pitching mound today so far, too.
And off the top of my head, about, 180, 190, the enrollment at Rising Sun from a 4th-grade standpoint, or has it gotten a little bit bigger?
A little bigger than that. I would put them.
It'd be in the they're 1A, so it'd be in the 200s.
Yeah, it'd be about 250, I would guess, Rake, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah.
So they've grown a little bit, has Rising Sun.
Brandon Roeder, superintendent down there, he's a Rising Sun guy, just a fantastic individual, and they've got great people down there. It's a nice school district, and they take a lot of pride in what they do as well.
Here's Simpson, 0 for 2, but the cleanup hitter. Off the hands, shortstop charges. They will get the out at first, but another run scores. So make it 6 for the Shiners. It is the second out of the inning, and runners at second and third.
That one wasn't hit quite hard enough for the Raiders to be able to turn a double play, and certainly not hard enough to get the runner at the plate.
So 8th batter to the plate this inning in DJ Williams. Tell us about the coaching staff here for baseball at South Ripley, Rob.
Indeed, led by Brian Smith. Brian's in his 2nd full season as our head baseball coach and has done a nice job with the program. He was an assistant for us for a while prior to that. And then varsity assistant coach is Grayson Miller. JV coach is Adam Hunger. Also, we have Coach Reilly in the dugout with the Raiders as well. And these guys do a lot. They do a lot for the program. They work hard. It's different in the past, Greg, when you had the dirt and the grass infield. Field maintenance is always a part of a high school baseball program.
Now field maintenance is a couple of brooms.
It is indeed. It's a whole different ball game. But we know that those guys are taking a ton of pride in this facility as well, and they're going to see to it that our kids do, which our kids would. We've got great kids, but just really proud of the job our coaches are doing, and they try to do it the right way.
Shortstop charges. He'll make the long throw to first. Retires Powell. Rising Sun scores 3, but they also strand 3. Shiners in control through 3.5 at this one. Again, opening day at Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. It's 6-0 Rising Sun leading it on the IHSAA Sports Network.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better everyday after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Again, an absolutely gorgeous day here in Southeast Indiana. Greg Rakestraw, Rob Moorhead with you. More special guests to join us As the broadcast continues, home half of the fourth inning, South Ripley trying to get the bats going as they trail 6-0. Baseball game followed by the softball game. It was about 30 minutes or so to flip the field. South Ripley began their season 5-0. Victories against South Dearborn, South Decatur, Waldron, Switzerland County, and Oldenburg. And lost that extra inning game against Southwestern 4-3 on Monday. They are scheduled to play here against Jacksonville on Friday. They may be testing out playing in the rain on this turf field. That is scheduled for a 5 o'clock first pitch and another ORVC conference opponent when Madison Shaw rolls in on Tuesday. Really a ground ball to second. First pitch swinging, first time up. And first pitch swinging again, this time to the first baseman. And again, I can't track how many first pitch outs it's been. It's been at least 5 of the 10 batters to the plate so far for South Ripley. Most of them have been of the ground ball variety. So here's Ethan Schmaltz. Schmaltz, first pitch swinging, ground ball to shortstop, his first time through. Schmaltz came in batting north of 400 and has 5 runs batted in. He's the starting catcher. And again, first pitch swinging, this one lifted, but Park will hold it. Wind has died down a bit, but it is still blowing directly in from center field. And Schmaltz has seen 2 pitches like Reilly and has made the right turn to the dugout in both occasions. And here comes Mason McNew. Mason, the first baseman, a fly ball to right, his first time up. Mason came in batting .562 and has 2 home runs in his first 6 games of the season.
He and Kastner coming up after him can both take the ball deep. Fortunately, the wind has died down a little bit at Rig. Earlier today, I didn't think there'd be a shot for anyone to get one out of here.
First plate, first pitch. Knocks McNew back a little bit.
Mason traditionally been one of our best pitchers, but had some elbow surgery in the offseason. Still able to play baseball, but unable to take the mound this year.
Ground ball, fair ball. Third baseman, can he make the throw in time? Yes, outstanding stretch by Berkeley. And for a 4th consecutive inning, the Shiners have been retired in order. Or excuse me, the Raiders have been retired in order. It's the Shiners that have the 6-0 lead through 4 here on opening day at South Ripley as you're watching on ISC.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Halo as well.
Welcome back again. Grand opening ceremonies today. A baseball then softball doubleheader. They can do that now at Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. Again, the Reds and their community fund, such a big part of that. And you've heard guests about the Tyson Fund. You've heard guests about the Reds, about St. Elizabeth. And frankly, you know, Rob Morey can handle pretty much most of the South Ripley information and knowledge in the broadcast. But we still want to welcome the principal here at South Ripley High School, Derek Hutton, who is kind enough to join us now. Derek, how you doing?
I am doing great. A little exhausted, to be honest, but such a great effort and so well worth it. And to see our community out here tonight, it's a special night for sure.
Just, again, you knew it as a Raider. You played on this field. Just how different of an experience is it now here at Forrest G. Waters Field?
We, up the ante for sure. And just remembering back in the early 2000s of what this field was and getting the opportunity to see what it is now. Our kids are blessed. They're very fortunate to get this opportunity. And, we said it best in the ceremony. You just hope that they understand nice play. The gravity of the situation and all the work that's gone into it, not just from the school side, but also all of our community members.
What is it like being the principal at your high school alma mater?
It's a dream job for me to be a 2002 graduate, to go to a neighboring school district and teach and coach. I was a head coach at Southwestern Hanover for 13 years, and then to get the opportunity to come back as the principal at the junior high at my alma mater, and then eventually move up to the high school. You're making a big impact in your community every single day. You're seeing the kids of people that you graduated with, and you know their families. So it's not a stretch to say it's a dream job, and I'm very blessed to be here.
So Wilson, lines this one. Center fielder again. Park will more than hold it. And there's quickly 2 down. Obviously, having school pride is not something that is unique to this place in this corner of the state. But if there is something that sets South Ripley apart from others, what do you think that would be?
It's a family atmosphere. To give you an idea, with my story, I'm the principal at the high school. My wife is a teacher at the elementary. My sister-in-law is our high school counselor. My dad is a bus driver, and my mom was a lunch lady. And there are so many.
You got the bases covered.
Yeah, there are so many stories like that across our district where, the alumni come back in positions to give back to the community, back to the kids. And I think that certainly is something that separates South Ripley from the other area schools.
So Crandall had a couple of productive at-bats, but couldn't time the swing out this time and again. He is facing Kastner, who came on in relief of Stone in the top half of the fourth. This is the 6th batter that he has faced. And other than hitting a batter, he's retired everybody else he has faced. Elevates the fastball at 0-2, and the count now at 1-2. Got about a month left in the school year. What's it look like for Raiders across the district?
Yeah, well, this was a big night for us. So take a big breath after tonight, and then we are full force towards graduation and making sure that our kids cross the line.
Derek, we'll let you go. Any truths you want to tell about Rob Moorhead to a live worldwide audience?
I should take advantage of it because he finds a way to tell stories about me every opportunity.
Like when you guys combined for 20 career home runs here in this facility.
Yeah, but
I heard that one earlier.
I don't think that's a surprise for people.
It's the same joke that I tell about me and a buddy of mine from Greensburg. We combined for 70-something college wins. I had 4 of them. I understand completely.
That's 4 more home runs than I had, though, Ray.
I was going to say he beat me to
20.
it. Yeah. That was going to be my fun story about Mr. Moorhead. But, in all seriousness, I do want to say before I leave that South Ripley, to have Mr. Moorhead in the position that he's in as superintendent, we are so blessed and so fortunate to have a leader that cares from the top down, no matter what your role is. He wants what's best for our kids, and he wants what's best for our employees. So, he is a great man and a great leader.
And Rob, because we're on camera, I can't tell the joke about that. He read that exactly as you had written it down for him.
No,
yeah, literally was without prompter, off the cuff completely.
And that's not a Chat GPT statement either.
Human answer, yes.
That's an honest feeling from me.
Well, I appreciate that, Derek. But Rake, I want to say while Derek's here, this project doesn't happen without Derek. He has been boots on the ground, and he has been a workhorse on this effort, reaching out to our community partners. He didn't get a chance to talk about it, and Rake, if we can keep him for a little bit,
sure,
I'd like for him
please.
to get to talk about the brick project, because Derek has really taken the ball and run with our brick garden and our brick project. And Derek, you'll be happy to know that both, and I'm not making this up, both Phil Castellini and Greg Rakestraw want to purchase bricks.
There are very few times that Phil and I make a similar charitable contribution. This is one of those times, by the way.
Well, and I talked to Mr. Castellini before he left, and he had told me that. And, the brick paver project gives our community members a way to give back for the project. And, not every family is going to be our business is going to be able to donate $1,000 or more, and we understand that. But to see so many step up and and want to be a part of that project. And then you go over and you see the names on there of the South Ripley legends and alumni that have come through here. It shows what family's all about, and it shows that everyone wants a piece of the special things that are happening at South Ripley. And like we said during the ceremony, we're still selling them. So if anyone is interested, please reach out to the school, and we're happy to get one made for you.
$250 will get your name on the in the on a brick paver and in that brick garden for the life of this facility.
Yep. Or 2 for $500. We'll cut you a deal.
Wow, that's a heck of a deal.
Buy the second one for the exact same price.
Absolutely, yes. I've offered that up a couple times tonight. We've had a few takers. So
White on for his 5th inning of work. Kastner, a strikeout victim last time up. That one moves him off the plate.
Derek, we are going to bring this up because I intentionally want to put the broadcaster jinx on right here because the Rising Sun pitcher is currently throwing a perfect game. So as a former baseball coach, how would you advise the Raiders to get out of this little funk here and break up this perfect game?
That's a great point. I would be doing what Coach Miller is doing over there, and that's calling time. And I don't know if their coach called time, but that's what I would do. I'd break up the momentum, make sure that he's as uncomfortable as possible right now because those no-hitters and perfect games are products of rhythm, and to be able to break that up is a good first step. And I would also, on the South Ripley side, scream it from the rooftops that he has a perfect game going on right now. So,
which, as Rake knows, he wasn't going to
so
mention
as the Rising Sun fans want to make sure the 2 guys are on the South Ripley Community Schools payroll brought this up, not the neutral observer that's doing the play-by-play.
And
the guys wearing
SR
gear are the ones that brought it up, and not me.
You got to do.
In case I ever want to visit Ohio County, I just want to make sure I put that out.
It's a good thing, Rake. It's a good thing.
Yeah, but he is. He's pitching a great game. He throws a lot of strikes. He's efficient. He's got a good breaking ball. He's keeping our hitters off balance.
So the count goes to 2-2.
Greg asked earlier, Derek, and you stay a little more in closer touch with the local competition than what I do. Rising Sun, not in our sectional because they're Class 1A, but in our sectional. Southwestern certainly one of the tougher programs. I would assume Austin, Brownstown Central also solid again this year.
You know, Brownstown, I think, is ranked in they're either number 1 in 2A or top 3, and undefeated. Is that the first walk of the game?
That is the first base runner of the game.
I think it worked, and I'm going to take all the credit for that.
Broadcaster jinx is real,
but,
yes.
You know, it is. It's baseball in this part of the state you're starting to see a resurgence with it, and there's a lot of talented kids, a lot of talented teams.
Well, let me ask you guys this. You know, again, Rob's pointed out, and correctly so, there's not a lot of programs that have a major league logo or multiples of them on their field the way you guys do here. Who else do these guys play that would have even a turf infield like this?
So, you know, looking in our area, Brownstown does have a turf field. You see a lot of turf football fields in our area, but not a lot of baseball ones. Lawrenceburg and East Central.
Sure. And East Central.
Those were made by the same company that produced our turf project. So Sprint Turf does a great job, and they're fairly local.
Now, I am known to needle the superintendent from time to time about a football program at South Ripley. Do you see that coming down the pike at any point in time in the near future?
You know, I wish I had $1 for every time I've had that conversation with people in our community. And, you know, I don't see it happening anytime soon, and I think that's the answer Mr. Moorhead probably gave. You know, it's something that if you could make it happen would be great, and I know our community loves the idea of it, but there's a lot of things that have to happen in the background to make that even a possibility. So
check on the catcher for just a moment, because I'm not sure if kind of he and batter collided or the bat may have gotten him on the follow-through.
That's exactly what it was, Rake, on the follow-through. The bat got him, and good sportsmanship there by both players. But Gabe Stone turned around to check on him and make sure he was okay, and the umpire giving him a little chance to catch his breath here as well. But no, Rake likes to point that out that he likes to say we're one of the largest schools without. Now he's going to say I only say it because it's correct that we're one of the largest schools without football. But yeah, and Guerin and Phil Castellini both made a comment when we were introducing the teams. They go, there's some big boys out here on both these teams. Those look like football guys. I said, well, not at either one of these schools. Neither of us have football at this point.
Ground ball.
Could be a double play.
Oh, bobble.
Get there.
They do get the lead runner at second base. Could not turn the double play.
So Derek spent some time at our conference rival, Southwestern Hanover, building their baseball program back in the day. And they even did little turf project that Derek can speak about back when he was the head coach there.
Yeah, it was, I started, I think, in 2009. Coached for 13 years there, and we started out, we had 11 kids, 9 had never played baseball before. And we're fortunate to build it up to winning a conference in my last year. And really the program has taken to a next level with Coach Thurston getting there, and he's done a great job with them. And, one of our big renovations was getting that turf at home plate and the halo that goes around it. And just from the maintenance perspective, that helps everything.
So a little chastising and maybe some players kind of getting out of the dugout and doing a little chirping from the South Ripley side. I think that goes back to maybe the collision at second base.
Yeah.
Those don't happen as often as they used to.
No, they do
in
not.
this sport.
They do not.
And I will give the kids a little bit of leeway here. There is something to learning how to slide on turf and realizing you're going to go faster. There's less friction on it than on dirt.
Our softball girls actually invested in some sliding mats so they could get used to it.
One of the first games that I saw as runner goes and the ball is popped up. It's going to be a tough play with the wind, and the wind will actually carry that past the screen and out of play. But this goes to a college level. I saw IU and Northwestern the first year that IU had turf at Bart Kaufman Field, which I think was 2012. And to the example of what you want to be able to have happen in a situation like this, where you can kind of play through some rain. That was some borderline biblical rain they kept playing through, but that's a conversation for a different day. Literally saw a player from Northwestern like hydroplane about 5 feet, feet past the bag at second base. So there's something that learning, all right, here's where I slide, here's where I stop in this scenario.
And I think that's kind of the bad hop you would get in baseball is from usually moisture on
right.
turf. Yep.
Rick, I'll say also, Derek, as he is performing many of his duties as high school principal, one of his duties tonight here in the changeover is going to be helping lead the breakdown of that portable pitcher's mound and getting it off the field, and then also getting our portable fence up. And Derek, what kind of plans do we have in place to make all that happen?
Well, hopefully I have some time to do some stretching.
Throw down to second base in time. Swipe tag is applied. Out recorded 2-6. And there's 2 down.
That portable mound is that's about 800 pounds there.
Gonna get a look at this on ISC replay.
I think he got him.
Yep. Bang, bang, play.
I think he did.
Guy did a good job getting the tag down, didn't he? Yeah, but go ahead, Derek. Talk about that portable mound and what it's going to take to remove that.
Yeah, so it's going to take probably 6 to 8 grown men to break that mound down and carry it off the field. And our whole baseball team's going to participate in moving that fence out there to the 200 mark for softball.
2 outs. And this one's a little liner that will get into right field for a base hit. And the no-no is broken up.
How many times have those no-hitters broken up on a flare hit, too? That's kind of the way it works.
When is graduation for you guys here at South Ripley?
It is May 23rd. Sorry, it's May 23rd. And 5 o'clock start, and it's we have a really traditional ceremony. Our gym fills up. It's our biggest night of the year. And, our kids, and we're all ready for it. It's kind of that time of year where everyone's eyeing it, and we're ready to get it started.
Popped up. First baseman comes in, calls everybody off, makes the play, and that is the end of the inning. Thanks for the time, my friend. I hope you're enjoying it. Despite the score, I hope you're enjoying the day so far.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Derek Cotton again, principal at South Ripley High School. We are now through 5 here in Versailles. Rising Sun leads at 6-0 after 5 on the ISC Sports Network.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree. We care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
Look at the fans that have gathered down each of the first and third base lines. Again, the all-new Forrest G. Waters Field here at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. Greg Rakestraw, Rob Moorhead with you. Top of the 6th we go. Shiners have been spoiling the party. Raiders just got their first base hit. And first base runner of the game in the home half of the 5th. America struck out his last time up. Pair of singles and a stolen base his first couple of times through. Cooper batting 2 for 3. 2 runs in the top of the 2nd, 1 in the top of the 3rd, and 3 in the top of the 4th for the Shiners. Off speed misses, 1-1 the count. Again, officially, Kastner's gone an inning and 2/3 of scoreless relief. He has faced 6 batters. He has hit 1. Other 5 he has retired. Only 1 of those by way of a strikeout. Working from the stretch. Delivers the fastball outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. And this one line, 1 hop to the shortstop. Fires over to first. And there's 1 away. So we had some players move around. Hodge moved from left field to first base back in the top of the 4th inning. Made the play. McNew had been playing first base, is now over at 3rd. As Kastner came into pitch in that inning. Here's Cumberworth. Single with an RBI his last time through. And this one rolls towards the South Ripley dugout. And the count now 0-1. Cumberworth 1 for 3. Fly ball to center's first time through, and a ground ball to second. And the 2nd inning. Cumberworth batting .231 on the season. He is a junior. He's played in all 9 games so far. Does have 3 doubles on the season. Just off the plate. 2-1 the count. Give us about 30 minutes or so to switch this from baseball to softball for our 2nd game of the night. Fouled straight back. And the count now 2-2. Hayden White has thrown 5 shutout innings for the Shiners. He awaits on deck for Rising Sun. Rob Moorhead, like other Major League broadcasters, sometimes they take innings off.
That's right.
But he rejoins us now.
I'm trying to line up a few more interviews for us, Rake. Some of our
Because
folks,
you and I are very shy and reluctant and can't carry a broadcast on our own.
That's exactly right. So it's such a unique opportunity to have you guys here and trying to maximize that and take just every advantage of talking to the many great people at South Ripley.
Well, since it's just you and I for this inning, there's still 1 out in the inning, Tell us about who Forrest G. Waters is, whom the field is named after.
Forrest G. Waters was the very first principal at South Ripley High School after the consolidation in 1967. So for folks who don't know, the schools that came together.
This one flared out to left field. Left fielder coming in. Cannot get there in time. It is a base hit. Cumberworth with back-to-back singles, one on and one out.
Versailles, Cross Plains, New Marion were the original three schools that came together, and then 2 years later, Holton joined. So it's a consolidation of 4 high schools. Mr. Waters was the first principal at South Ripley High School, and then after 2 years, he moved into the role as superintendent and served in that role for a number of years here at South Ripley. And when he moved into superintendency, my dad, who had been the first high school basketball coach after coaching for 15 years at Versailles, his final 2 years of coaching were at South Ripley, and then Dad moved into the high school principal's role. And Mr. Waters just was a huge influence on the consolidation, on the way the schools came together. He was a first-class gentleman, Rake. He was a man who carried himself well, who always wanted what was best for South Ripley and always wanted to provide the best opportunities for our students.
Runner goes. Throw down to second base, and ball caroms off of Cumberworth. He's on the bag. He's safe. Shiners averaging about 3 steals a game coming in, and they have been aggressive on the base paths today.
I remember, I think it was late 70s when Dad, as high school principal at the time, talked about naming the field after Forrest Waters. And I remember being here the day they unveiled the sign. I remember the sign was out behind right field, and it was covered in like paper. It was covered up to be unveiled at a ball game. And I remember how proud Dad was that night and how proud Mr. Waters was that night to see the field named in his honor. He served some terms on the IHSAA board of directors, did Mr. Waters, as well as my dad did later on. But so the field has been named after him since the late 70s. And as a part of this project with St. Elizabeth Healthcare and the Reds, and we knew there would be some changing of the name and so forth, but St. Elizabeth was adamant that if Forrest G. Waters' name needs to continue to be on the field, by all means, we want that to happen. And I talked about that in my remarks during the dedication ceremony. As proud as we are of our present and our future with this new facility, we continue to want to honor the past and the contributions Forrest G. Waters made to South Ripley. And knowing him as I did, Greg, he would just be ecstatic to see this field still with his name attached to it, and he would be humbled by that. He wouldn't have expected that, but he would be very pleased to see something like this for the students at South Ripley and this community.
So the count now 1-2. White has got a line more like a leadoff hitter today. Hit by a pitch and walked. He's reached a couple of times. That benefit of a base hit. Does have a stolen base and a run scored. 6 of the 9 batters have scored a run for Rising Sun. White has done a great job of spoiling a couple of pitches. Good couple of stay-alive swings by Aiden. And the count remains 1-2. South Ripley scheduled to play again on Friday. Fingers crossed, weather permitting. Swing and a miss. And White runs into the out there. So he'll make the left turn back to the dugout for the first time, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, it was a nice pitch by Trevor and a nice job by Ethan Schmaltz to pick that ball up and make sure he got the tag to secure that second out of the inning. You're talking about good teams in the area right now leading the conference. Milan is 3-0 right now, Rake. Pardon me, they're 6-2 overall on the season. Jacksonville undefeated in conference play right now at 2-0, 4-3 on the season.
Fastball pops the mid for a strike. And Simpson seeing Kastner for a second time. This marks the second trip to the lineup for the relief hurler here for South Ripley. Simpson 0 for 3. He is the cleanup batter. Rising Sun will play at home tomorrow against the Pacers of Switzerland County. Ground ball. Shortstop charges. Fields fires. Got him by a stride. And Kastner continues to be outstanding in relief. To the home half of the 6th we go. 6-0 lead for Rising Sun. You're watching this grand opening day from Forest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark on the ISC Sports Network.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better everyday after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
Brogan Buchanan at the plate. Again, White has been so good on the mound that for batters 8 and 9, here in Buchanan and block, this is just their second chance to see the Rising Sun starter. And that misses. 1-0 the count. The Rising Sun off yesterday. Went to Shaw, beat the Hilltoppers 12-6 on Monday. Buchanan swings and misses. You mentioned Milan. That is whom Rising Sun lost to last week. Indians won that one 8-3.
High school baseball, as you know, Rake, is so pitching dependent.
Yep.
So it depends on who you're rolling out there on the mound. I think we're getting Rising Sun's best here tonight, and understandably.
And Rising Sun's first 2 losses are to larger school competition, Batesville and Lawrenceburg. Well, I will tell you, as pitch delivers, outside corner, got him. Strike called, 1 down. I think I have had Rising Sun, this is the 3rd time I think I've ever had the Shiners on a broadcast. Had the girls basketball team when they played in the Hall of Fame Classic years ago.
Yeah. That
at
probably
Newcastle, like
Brock
99,
twins.
2000.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the other time I had Rising Sun was in a softball game where they beat a 4A school.
Is that right?
Now, if they're playing a 4A school here, that would mean that would be a win at East Central that they had a handful of years ago.
Okay. That's a softball
Liner
program
caught.
that has traditionally been a powerhouse, too, at East Central.
There's 2 down. Yeah, we had East Central and ISC, and good on East Central. They went up and played in Pendleton Heights annual Horseshoe Classic a couple of weeks ago against some of the best teams in the state, like Lake Central, Pendleton Heights, and Center Grove, which is exactly what they need to do. So here's Reilly, freshman, starting second baseman. Ground ball to second, and a tapper to the first baseman. As White looking to make it 6 scoreless. Swing and a miss.
He's got that good off-speed pitch, Rake, that's keeping the Raiders just their timing's a little bit off tonight at the plate.
So how much you have to pay for this weather today?
Oh.
How'd that work out for you?
It's funny. We had this conversation many times when we were planning for this. And I said, what do we do in case of inclement weather? What has happened in your past field projects like this? They said, we've never had inclement weather on the field dedication day. I said, well, hopefully it won't be this year for your first. And, man, this is Chamber of Commerce weather today, Rake.
Williams just took one in the wrong spot. We need to show this one time. That's enough.
That's enough.
Counted 0-2.
He's shaking it off.
Such is life when you're a catcher. Sometimes that happens. Give him a minute, he'll be fine.
Walk it off. And if it was in the major leagues, they'd be hollering various things from the sideline about what not to do or whatever to help that pain go away. So
there's a Gorilla Monsoon line about the solar plexus or breadbasket that seems appropriate about now.
I would think so. Tough young man, going to stay in the game and tough it out.
If this holds as a 6-0 lead, he'll be smiling on the bus ride home about it.
Absolutely.
It'll hurt a little less when you're +6 on the scoreboard. Counted 0-2.
DJ Williams, a senior back there.
The 1-2. And just off the plate. Again, one walk, one single. And one of those runners turn out trying to steal second. That's been the only traffic on the base paths so far for South Ripley. Good job by Ripley to stay alive here.
You know, Rick, seeing that ball climb up the netting here just reminds me, and I don't know if we talked about this earlier. I talked about it with someone, don't know if it was on the air, but we did a lot of improvements in this field back in 2020.
Backs him off the plate, full count.
At that time, we built the new dugouts. Each dugout has storage attached with it as well, with a garage door that we can get equipment in and out. Built the knee wall that is in front of us that connects dugout to dugout. Poured concrete from dugout to dugout as well. And when you look around, and you can see even on that shot from center field how many people pull their chairs up and sit next to the knee wall. That's really a popular place for people to watch. That padding that goes behind home plate, that was all part of the 2020 project. And as you'll recall,
little flare to shallow right field that will get down for a base hit.
Yeah, Rake almost couldn't see that one around the corner from the dugout, but it dropped right in for a base hit. Second hit of the night for the Raiders.
We call them off the monitor in situations like that.
Amen.
Because our crew never misses a thing on ISC. Here's Schmaltz. Schmaltz is 0 for 2 with a ground ball to shortstop and a fly ball to center field.
But Rake, part of that project too was this netting that you see that goes from dugout to dugout as well. This backstop netting, and man, has it saved a lot of foul balls from going into the parking lot. So much higher than what our old traditional backstop was right behind home plate. So at that time, we were really proud of the improvements we had made in the field as well. Still at that time, dirt and grass infield.
Third baseman Fields fires and gets him by a step. Love the hustle by Schmaltz trying to dive for the bag, but cannot get there in time. It is 6 shutout innings authored by Aiden White. South Ripley trailing at 6-0 on opening day here at Forrest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. Back in a moment on ISC.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
You know, when we have gone to commercial break, sometimes we just carried conversations over to the bottom half of the inning, but when we have, we've seen commercials for our friends at Ivy Tech. And frankly, one about South Ripley Community Schools. Tell us about, it's frankly a shortened video that we see. There's a longer form version available on YouTube. Tell us about putting that together.
That was a marketing video we did, Greg, with the help of Central Indiana Education Services Center. The fine folks there came out and did interviews with multiple staff members, multiple students as well. They got some good footage going around to our various activities, and we put that out about 3 years ago in a project we did there as quite simply, a video to market what we do well at South Ripley High School. And we're at South Ripley Community School Corporation, not just here at the high school. We're incredibly proud of our school district, and one of the key figures on there is our elementary principal, Ryan Lauber. He talks a lot about our STEM certification that we have at our school district.
Liner, second baseman. Again, you get that true hop off the turf. Skipped it, picked it up, one down.
Nice pick by Sean Reilly there. He did a good job, and that true hop does make a difference. But STEM certification, Greg, as they've heard on the commercial, if folks have been watching, our elementary was our first school in the district to become STEM certified. At the time, they had the highest score in the state on the STEM certification rubric. And the very next year, our junior high went after it, and they topped them by one. They got a perfect score on the rubric, and we're very proud of that and the STEM education that we offer. The high school is going through the STEM certification process right now. It's been one of our corporation goals to have a STEM certified school district.
Through the wickets of the pitcher, but the shortstop charges. Fields fires, and nice stretch.
Austin
Hodge. We'll give that 1-6-3 in case Kastner touched it. There's two down.
Yeah, Gabe Stone, who started on the mound playing shortstop now, did a nice job coming up with that one, getting it across the diamond. Austin Hodge did the work on the back end for the Raiders.
Only once have the Shiners been retired in order. And frankly, it was Kastner that got the job done. He's trying to finish off 3 2/3 of scoreless relief.
Greg, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about our school board and the support they've provided. 6 of our 7 members were able to be here today. One could not because her son had another athletic event that was going on at the same time, or she would have been here as well. But to have the support of our school board to bring this project together has truly been remarkable. And, you know, they have a fiduciary responsibility with the district. And, you know, when we first approached them with this project, you know, the $200,000 seed money that you get is great, but that's not going to cover the project.
No.
And so we had a lot of conversations about what we could do.
And this one, center fielder coming in and could not make the diving effort. That'll be a single by Berkeley with 2 outs.
Yeah, Bodie Block went all out for that one. Laid out, had a shot at it, but just couldn't quite bring it in. So another base hit here for the Shiners. We're going to get another good look at Bodie Block's effort here.
Not for lack of trying.
No, not at all. But no, Rick, the board has been so supportive, and they were just blown away by the way the community stepped up. And South Ripley Schools did make a major investment in this project, but about 20% of what the total cost would be. And, you know, we talked to the board about the fact that, you know, for a minimal investment, we're going to have a facility here that is going to serve this community for years to come. And you just can't say no to the opportunity you were provided.
You don't put a price on community pride. What you can put a price on, to some degree, is field maintenance or lack thereof.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an estimate as to how much money this is going to save the district going forward?
I don't really have a good estimate on that, to be honest, Greg. And, yeah, well, part of that, too, is, and I know from playing in this baseball program and then seeing it through the years, our players put a lot of sweat equity into that, which is why it's hard to put a price on it. Yes, we have maintenance guys that would do some of the mowing, but the baseball team itself took care of the facility in terms of infield mowing, in terms of raking the dirt, in terms of edging, striping, the thing that was all part of being a South Philly baseball player, and you see that at a lot of other places as well. So it is going to take some of that away, but these guys are going to do other things now to maintain this facility as well. So hard to put a price tag on that, but you know, all that stuff costs money, whether it's the lime, whether it's the mowers, or whatever the case may be.
Well, let's give a tip of the cap to young Mr. Kastner because he just completed 3 2/3 of scoreless relief. Raiders hoping to get the bats going. For the home half of the 7th we go. Stretch time in Versailles. It is 6-0. Shiners lead it. You're watching on ISC.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. fifth day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
At South Ripley, our people, I think, are what set us apart. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're empathetic. They are going to do everything they can to remove any possible obstacles to allow students to learn to the best of their ability, and I believe that's what we're all about.
When we received STEM certification, we had the highest score on the rubric ever, only to be topped by our junior high. So we had the 2 highest scores in the state for STEM certification, and that all comes from the teachers. The teachers are the boots on the ground. They have the best interests of our students in mind, and they work tirelessly to create those pathways for our kids to be successful.
It's really nice being here in a small community. Some people might disagree and say, oh, big communities are better, there's more to do, but I really truly believe that small communities are better.
It's always a great day to be a Raider.
So 3, 4, and 5. There is Elijah Mash. Hello, Elijah. If the long hair doesn't protect it from the sun, he's got his sunbrella out there.
Elijah looks great behind that South Ripley sign in center field.
Here's McNew. And McNew lines this one into left field for a base hit. So leadoff batter aboard for the second time. Just the second hit allowed by White. Now he's going to try to stretch it into a double and able to get in there. They're going to call interference on the first baseman. So the reason he's going to get second base is they're going to say that he and the first baseman got tangled because the throw beat him to the bag and tag was applied. So let's take a look here. Yep, contact made there, and that's the reason why he's given second base, is the interference. And good job by our base umpire to immediately say he's safe and here's why, and point it back to Berkeley at first.
Yeah, Mason's got a high baseball IQ. He's played a lot of baseball over the years. His dad, Matt McNew, is our PA announcer you're hearing in the background, and he's a former South Ripley girls basketball coach as well.
Foul tip back in the mid. And while White, I'm sure, would love to throw a shutout, frankly, the runner at second is not of much consequence to Rising Sun with a 6-run lead here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Second baseman and Powell is holding him on, but he'll quickly retreat back into position. White didn't like what he saw and had to complete the throw as he spun and wheeled towards second base.
Yeah, some of the Raiders' dugout was wanting to balk there, but was not the case.
As long as he throws the ball there, he's fine.
Yep.
Kastner was the first base runner today for South Ripley by way of a walk.
Tell you, White's still got a little giddy up on that fastball here in the 7th inning.
Count now at 1-1. And we'll take a break on the broadcast. The softball link is a different link. So whether you watch it on YouTube, Twitter, ISCSportsNetwork.com. Once this game is over with, we will give our crew a breather. We'll regale you with the stories of popping off the pitching mound when we come back for the softball broadcast. And give us half an hour or so to convert you from baseball to softball.
Might be good for him to have video going to that rake. It might be a good video to have later of what that looked like tearing that mound down. But I know the crew needs a break too.
Crew needs a break. we may have our German kid Otto as an automatic that might be covering that. We'll see. Count it 2-2. Otto makes appearances on the broadcast from time to time.
Automatic.
Off speed misses, full count.
I've been talking a lot with Derek about what it's going to take to get that mound removed. And he said, well, I've been watching YouTube videos on it, Mr. Moorhead. I said, well, I'm glad to hear that, Hutt, but we need to have a dress rehearsal. And they did earlier this week, broke it down.
Foul tip.
They did not carry it completely off, but they broke it down so they knew how to do that. And then it's just getting the muscle, which, you know, they're going to have some dads out there. I got Bodie Block's dad right beside me here, Rich Block. He's going to go out and carry part of that mound by himself, I'm sure, as we get into the to the post game.
Count runs full at 3-2.
Might mention, Rake, a couple of weeks ago when we had the first home baseball game on this, we did a ribbon cutting with our local sponsors that evening because I just couldn't fathom coming out here and playing a game without recognizing the fact that it was a brand new field, even though we knew this one was on the schedule where it would work for the Reds in St. Elizabeth. But that night, the Raiders went into the bottom of the 7th down and made a big comeback and won the ball game that night on a walk-off.
Trying to do the same thing.
A little bit further hill to climb tonight.
This is now the longest at bat, though, of the game in either direction. We frankly have not had many lengthy at bats to date.
Rick, also, I'd be remiss not to mention the work of our Buildings and Grounds Director, Jeff Cornett, and everything he and his crew have done to help get this facility ready. You will see, you won't be able to see it here. Your cameras probably can, but there is a spray painted line at the 200-foot mark in the outfield that Jeff and his crew were out here striping. They've been working on the windscreen as well. They had to pop the fence cap off of there today in order to get the windscreen connected. That was a little bit of a job. And the brick garden, Jeff has done a ton of work on that. They've been power washing around the facility. We wanted everything to be spruced up and in first-class form for today's festivities, and can't thank Jeff Cornett and his crew enough for everything they've done out here.
Kastner spoiled about 5 consecutive 3-2 off-speed pitches.
Yeah, this is a good at-bat for Trevor.
And White challenged with a fastball, but frankly, catcher set up. They thought that Kastner would give chase. He did not.
Yeah, good eye that time for Trevor.
Just base runners 3 and 4 of the game for South Ripley.
Like to see the Raiders not going down without a fight here.
Here's Stone. Now ball to shortstop his first time up. In fact, he's grounded a shortstop both times he has been at the dish. That misses outside.
Rick, how many baseball games do you cover in the spring?
Probably in the neighborhood of 25 to 30, would be my guess.
High school and collegiate level,
Correct.
if I'm not mistaken. That's Pope.
This one, right fielder drifting over. Wynn will keep pushing that one in. Catch made. Runner not tagging up at second in a 6-run game. I'm not sure that's that big of a consequential deal. There's one down.
Wilson tracked that one down in right field for Rising Sun.
But to your point, and thank you for letting me, pad the resume here on the broadcast. The last baseball game I did was Indiana and Indiana State 8 days ago. A mere 11 home runs and 29 runs were scored in that game.
Wind blowing out.
Well, that's because their field faces the opposite direction as yours. White, fastball hits the outside corner. You use the land properly, so to speak here. Parking lot for the schools right behind. So
sure.
Put home plate here, but it does face a bit of an opposite direction. Ground ball, second baseman. Again, just take the sure thing.
Yeah.
Get the out at first base, and South Ripley down to a final out.
Yeah, Powell made the right decision there. You have, especially as a young player, the tendency to think, can I turn 2 here? You don't need to turn 2 when you're up 6-0, and just get an out and get that second out of the inning.
Here's Camden Hodge, Camden the DH today. In Austin, left fielder and first baseman.
Rick, when I told you about this field early on, you made the comment that the synthetic infield, the grass outfield, that's kind of the collegiate model. You see
Indiana
that a lot
State
of
does
collegiate.
that, correct. Yep. White doing a good job of not falling for the eye candy with Kastner trying to distract him over at second base.
There's some other colleges maybe that are set up in a similar format.
A lot of colleges kind of do that. Frankly, there used to be some professional teams that did that. It's in for a strike. Scranton Wilkes-Barre was like that for years. Now, almost all minor league teams now play on grass for the most part. at this point.
One of the things I was always worried about if you did the synthetic infield and grass outfield was that lip, that halo, if you will, between the infield and the outfield. But boy, the job that Shooty Excavating and Tyler Stone did on making sure that dirt underneath the sod that was being laid down was built up to the level and actually just a little bit higher than the turf to allow that to give a little bit. But one of the things we really want to make sure we manicure is that as this field maintenance goes on in the future is make sure and take care of that lip so it's not a trip hazard. And so it looks nice. I think at one point when Mr. Castellini was sitting here, I think he thought the entire field was turf because our outfield grass looks so good from right here.
Down at 2-2. A little high.
I will say our baseball coaches maintain that outfield grass as well. Coach Smith and his staff, they will hop on the mower and maintain that and make sure it's looking good.
Canada waits on deck if it gets to him. No advance in the runners because there's an open bag.
I got him.
They throw behind and then throw it into the outfield, and that's going to score 2 runs. Well, it's kind of why you don't throw the ball in that scenario.
A little concerned for the Raiders and that Trevor Kastner pulled up a little bit there. Hoping that's not a serious injury or what of any nature, maybe a strained muscle or something.
So the Raiders get on the board here. And Kastner, I think, did that as he was rounding third.
Yeah, he's a key to the success of our baseball team, and that will wrap it up, Rake.
And that is that. So Raiders avoid the shutout, but Rising Sun never trailed. Final score of game number 1. Rising Sun 6 and South Ripley 2. Again, great day for the Raiders. Just didn't follow the script on the scoreboard. We will take a brief timeout. Again, softball can be on a different link. You can watch on YouTube, Twitter, ISCSportsNetwork.com. Watching on ISC TV, stay right where you are. Our feed will get approximately about half an hour or so. For Rob Moorhead on our great ISC Sports Network, for this is Greg Rakestraw. A temporary goodbye from Versailles on opening day at Forest G. Waters Field at St. Elizabeth Ballpark. You're watching on ISC.